What is going on, guys? Happy Christmas Eve to you all. I am slowly dying right now. I know. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter how much I prepare, how much I plan, but when I have these very important episodes, I always somehow manage to be sick. You know, I'm going to be quite frank with you. I got someone in particular that I want to blame right now, but I'm not going to name names. But I've been doing perfectly well health-wise. I've been doing great. I think I got sick maybe once or twice in the last, 4 or 5 years. But this year, I tell you, I am getting sick over and over and over. Hello to all of you out there today. Let's not start with the worst of the news. Let's try and start with the best of the news. Big thank you to Lake Tahoe Gem, first one in the house. Let me rearrange my windows really quick, so that way I can see everything a little bit better without having to crane my neck. I hope you are all doing well. We've made some adjustments here on the show. My audio levels might be coming in a little bit higher than normal. The music's going to sound different. The audio is going to sound different. We made a lot of tweaks here, tech-wise. And if you didn't notice, check out the logo. We got the brand new logo floating around, and you would think that would be some easy feat, but those are all hand animated. But yeah, thank you to Lake Tahoe Gem, first one in the house. Good to see you again. Chris the Goose, long time no see, Jay. Hope you have a great Christmas, and a Merry Christmas to you and your family as well, my friend. Hope you all have a great one. But yeah, Chris, longtime friend of the show, always happy to have you around. I got some free time after Christmas, so if you want to work on that video project, I learned a lot of new things since we last worked together, so if you need help building something still, just let me know. Beth, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you for dropping in. Fat Girl Sewing, we got you in our credits now. We went ahead and adjusted the outro, so we got a little thank you in there for you as well. Thank you for dropping in. Happy holidays to you too. Donna Ski, Merry Christmas to you too. Happy New Year's to you and everyone else, actually. It's going to be coming up quick, and do not ask me for a New Year's Eve episode. I don't think it's going to happen. We got way too much effort tied up into this one. Creative Unique, hello all, first time joining. Hope everyone is having a good holiday. Creative Uniques, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on this very, very special day. We're happy to have you. I'm going to check out your channel, because that's what I do. Anytime somebody says it's their first time here, I go lurk their channel. I want to see who they are and what they're doing. Looks like we got a fellow picker with some haul videos. 13 subscribers. I'm going to go and subscribe to you. I'm going to give you a chance. And if I like your next video, I'll stick around. Let's see who else we have in the house tonight. Pam, the one and only, Pam's Flip Life. If you haven't checked out Pam's Instagram, she posts up a lot of really good stuff about Hikari. It's at Pam's Flip Life, just like her username shows. Definitely check her out. Maui Delights, Merry Christmas Eve to you and everyone else. Happy to have you too. I think I've seen you here once before. Can't say for sure though. Corey Hill Attic, happy Tuesday. It is a very rare day we do a video on a Tuesday. Hey, buy yourself a Christmas goose on me. $20 super chat from Chris the Goose, the one and only. Thank you, my friend. But no, seriously, we're going to do a video project together. I got a whole bunch of new assets. I've learned a lot more about animating. I was able to slap this together so much quicker. If you need something done, you want something done, reach out to me, please. I'm having so much fun building stuff lately. And you're going to see a lot of that throughout the show. Or even if you just want a little sit down and talk about Final Cut or something, I'd be happy to do it. Thank you so much for the $20. I will put it towards a very special trip I have planned for the end of February, which we'll talk about a little bit more as it approaches. But it should be a good time. But thank you so much for that. Chris, always the first one to drop those super chats. And we actually have a new company that we're going to be talking about later, and we have some promotional units. Definitely send me a DM. You're going to want one of these, and I'll make sure you get one shipped out to you at no cost, okay? Really, really cool stuff. It's going to help you as a reseller, especially if you're doing any type of thrifting or storage units or anything like that. And you guys are going to have to forgive my voice. My throat is tore up today. I have a pretty bad rattle in my chest, so I'm drinking some coffee right now. I'm hoping that the caffeine, because I've heard that stimulants are good for people who have like asthma, people who have issues breathing and stuff like that. So I'm pounding a cup of coffee right now. Who else do we got here? A couple of pickers. Merry Christmas from Rob and Lisa. Now, a couple of pickers. Now, I've seen you around as well. I'm just trying to remember what your channel is. Give me 1 second. I'm brain farting right now. I don't know if you posted something in our group or what. Are you the ones who called out? Somebody called out. Who was it? Oh God, what's his name? Greg, Landshark Picker. Are you the guys who did that? Because that icon looks familiar. I remember there's some heated drama over that. But happy for you to be here. Thank you so much for dropping in. Thank you to all 22 of you. We got Mr. Future Fortunes. I got your package over here by my side. We're going to be opening that on air as well. Thank you to you and everyone else who sent in packages. It was very nice of you. And hello to your mother as well. We can't forget her too. Hopefully she's tuning in. Richard Eberhardt, the one and only. We got a special interview with him a little bit later in this show. He's at work right now, and I appreciate you checking in during your work hours. Just don't get caught. We got Zyda in the house as well. Hello to you, Zyda. Is Mindy Coy MIA? I think she's the only admin we're missing right now. But yeah, happy to have you, Zyda. We redid the credits. We got you higher billing on the credits now, too. Everything's a little bit mixed around. Mr. Exquisite going on 9 weeks now. Happy to have you. And I hope that you've been enjoying the Patreon. Me and him got together on a small project the other day and got some work done. It was nice. It was really nice. I learned a few things, and I don't want to speak on it because of the confidential nature of some of the work that we do, but I just want to say I really enjoyed learning about a new problem within the community. It's always great to be able to get new information, to be able to share with others as needed, to be able to help them with their situations. I'm the boss. The regional manager. Don't let the regional manager catch you then. A couple of pickers says, nope, not us. Craig is a regular in our live stream. Well, good on you. Good on you. Yeah, there was another couple, and they were just like tearing him apart for some reason. And then I heard from him. He sent me a message like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't respond to him for a week. And then he read it, and then didn't respond back. I'm like, I'll leave it at that. But I don't think there's anyone left in the community that I'm even communicating with at this point. It's really weird how all of that went down, but that's a story for another day, I'm sure. Where did my little advertising on top go? Did that just disappear early? I'm going to have to fix that. $1 million question. Why is Vin sending me photos? Let's see what we got going on here. Hey, Jay. Sorry to bother you last minute. We got some hot details. We got an inside scoop just sent to my inbox right now. Compliments of Vin. Says, hey, Jay, sorry to bother you. Here, I'm going to even turn this down a little bit. Sorry to bother you at the last minute, just in case you want to let your audience know about Dress Barn going out of business sale. Last day is 12/26/19, which is 2 days from now. Got a mannequin and some other items for some pretty good deals. Tuning into your show in 10 minutes when you go live. By the way, if you get a chance to do a show on tax prep for all platforms for your next show, that would be great. We're just going to redact that, and got some good advice from him regarding, okay, we can say his name. We talked with Richard regarding Macari. Yeah, he's a great guy. Still 50-50, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, guys, check out Dress Barn. Going out of sale, or going out of business sale going on. So thank you to Vin for that inside scoop. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you're looking to pick yourself up a mannequin, if you're somebody who's considered getting a full-size mannequin, now could be your opportunity to get one at a good price. I might even go check it out. Just one of my regular visits to Dress Barn. See what's new, see what might look good, maybe get some clearance stuff while I'm at it. Word of the wise to you guys, we remastered the intro slightly louder. I'm going to let you know that right now. It's going to be coming in about 10 to 20% louder than the rest of the show, and it's just for impact. We had to redo the logo because we switched our logo recently from the very thin, not very modern looking logo to the newer one that I designed. And it's going to be our last logo too. This is going to be the one that we're going to stick with. It's going to have a lot of room for play and interpretation. Should be fun. Thank you for that help on that little project. It was a great project to be a part of. Yeah, and hopefully it's something we can talk about here in the future. So, guys, are you ready to do this? We got 20 for you in the house tonight. It's a small house. It's Christmas Eve. What do you expect? Let's get this party started. What is going on, guys? This is Jay Craft with the Facebook group All Around Pickers Lounge, coming at you live again from beautiful Bakersfield, California. Today is Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2019. We have a very special show in store for you. Unlike our normal shows that we do, we're going to have a ton of different things. Not only do we have some news for you, specifically regarding taxes. I mean, who doesn't like talking about taxes on Christmas Eve? But we also have a ton of great packages sent in, some great promotions, some great announcements, and a ton of brand new videos that haven't been shown on our channel yet. And you're going to get to see them here tonight on Christmas Eve. Thank you to all of you who took the time to be here. Thank you to the lovely Mr. Exquisite for that $9.99 super chat, as well as Mr. Goose. I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so very much for that. It definitely helps keep us on air and keeps everything going with what we're doing. But like I said, tonight's show, it's going to be a big one. We're going to be covering a heck of a lot of stuff. And it's been a lot of work to get to where we're at right now. So those of you who missed out on the pre-roll earlier, or those of you who are watching in the future, I am sick right now. Okay. I don't know what happened. I went to bed last night. I was a little bit hot. I even got a thermometer here by my side and a giant glass of water. We're going to truck through today's episode though, because why? I put 80 hours plus into making this episode a reality, not just talking with brands, but doing a lot of design, a lot of editing, a lot of filming, a lot of just everything to make this a reality. But it's going to be a good time. Now, the first thing I want to get to before anything else is I want to talk with you. This is going to sound ridiculous, I almost saw someone die yesterday. And I know this is a weird way to start the show, okay? But, every time I started my show, I always want to, just share an experience of something that happened with me. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. Now, have you guys ever been rear-ended before? Okay, I know it's happened to me 3 times now, I believe. I've never rear-ended anyone. Okay, but I've been rear-ended myself 3 times. And of those times that's happened, I've seen it coming every single time. I'm always watching my mirrors. I'm always scanning them, okay? This is something you need to tell your kids. If you have irresponsible kids who are not great drivers, you need to tell them if they're going to do nothing else to look around at their mirrors when they're stopped at a light, okay? You never know when you're going to get rear-ended. Well, I'm sitting here at this darn intersection, and there's this car, maybe, I don't know, maybe about 200 feet back. Okay, and I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and here comes a flipping tire barreling down the road, going like 40, 45 miles an hour. It's not a tiny one either. This is a full size off a Corvette. It's one of those heavy old rims. Maybe it was aluminum. I don't know. But it was a beefy tire, and I'm watching this thing just barreling down the road, and I'm in the turn lane. I tell Daniel, I'm like, Daniel, hold on. We might need to, he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, dude, there's a giant tire barreling this direction. I'm just watching this thing spin. Hits the darn median, okay? Rolls over the median. And there's a lady tying her bonnet at the bus stop, literally pulling the thing down, tying it off. And I watch this thing bounce up, hit the ground, hit the curb, go directly behind her head, like 2 inches away from her head, and then roll off and then hit a car further down the way. Most ridiculous thing I've seen in the longest of times. Guys, why am I saying this? Enjoy every darn moment you got. Don't stress out too much. You never know when a random tire can take you out. And I really do mean that. Okay. We get stressed out over the dumbest of things sometimes. Okay. Whether it's, work or friends or just other nonsense. Don't get stressed out because you could get taken out by a random tire, and you really want to make sure you enjoy every single day you got, including this day. So thank you to all of you who are being here today. On top of that, thank you to our admins. We got one of them dropping in a link regarding our community group, but a big thank you to all of you, all of the admins who helped make this possible. Pam, Mindy, Richard, and Brandy. Even though not all of you are here tonight, I understand we all got lives, but it's very, very, very nice to see all the great work that you do to help make this community possible. On top of that, we got a big thank you to our newest patrons. We had a bunch of people really step up to the plate and say, like, Jay, I like what you're doing. I like what's going on. I want to be a part of this. We have John, who's coming back to resell, and happy to have you. Darren, who's a seasoned reseller. making big things happen for himself. And then we also had a couple of patrons do upgrades as well. I want to say thank you to Michelle for your upgrade and also Pam as well. I do appreciate it. It does keep us going. And we're really starting to get to a point where we're almost going to be, at a sustainable area to where I can start making more and more regular content. But it's a long road coming. But thank you to all of you. Thank you to Mr. Exquisite again, and Goose, and even Lee James for his contribution on our last show to help make this one possible. I will take that Merry Christmas personally, and right back to you, Thrift Trader. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about stuff. Now, I know it's not always the funnest of topics, but we're going to be talking about taxes today, just for a brief bit, and then I promise you, we got a bunch of fun stuff that we're going to be getting into. Excuse me. So, firstly, we're going to say thank you to all of the patrons, because so many of you make it possible. An extra special thank you to Michelle, Zyda, Pam, Matthew, Ashley, Anna and Joe, Lee James, Brandy, Rob, and John, our top patrons. But a big thank you to all of you. But without further ado, where's our chat? There we go. Get that on screen. But yeah, let's go ahead and tear into a little bit of news, and then we're going to get into a little bit of pre-recorded, really cool training content, educational, fun, whatever you want to call it, however you want to take it. Guys, eBay is changing the tax situation again. I'm going to be honest with you. The waters are starting to get really, really muddied right now as far as how taxes are concerned. I do have to preface, as always, the show should be considered a form of entertainment. I am not a tax professional. Please consult your CPA before making any actions regarding your finances and your taxes. We'll do the best we can to answer any questions that you have, but again, we are not specialists, so we can only offer surface level information as well as fact-based news to you. That being said, eBay is changing things up again, and it's getting really, really frustrating, really, really annoying, to be completely honest. The good news in some part is the fact that they are going to go ahead and remit taxes again for 4 more states. We have Hawaii, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan that are all going to be getting added into the tax remittance. That's going to be happening on January 1. Excuse me. In a statement by eBay, they said, regardless of your physical location, if you sell to buyers in certain states, those states may require you to collect applicable sales taxes on your transactions. So if you're here in California, if your business, your nexus, as we call it, is here in California, and you're selling something to somebody in Montana, that person is going to have to pay their Montana-based sales tax through eBay. Now, this is where things get really, really complicated. Okay, we're just going to use some whole numbers real quick so it can make a lot more sense to everyone. Let's say I sell an item for $100, and let's say the state that I'm selling it to has a tax cost of 10%. Okay, what ends up happening is everyone is drafting from the gross amount. So the consumer is paid $110. Okay, so my PayPal transaction fees are going to be, we're going to round off here, 3% of $110. Okay, but my eBay fees are also going to be the 10% or whatever specific amount it will be of $110. And then the taxes and the fees that I'm paying on those taxes is also 10% of the taxed amount, the gross amount. And this is where the problem really starts to come into play, is that we're getting dinged on the gross amount multiple times over. And now I've been griping about this for a long time, ever since PayPal and eBay separated and we started seeing the fees coming from the gross on both ends. And we kind of shut our mouth and kind of let it be. But here's the issue, is the fact that this is happening in spite of the fact that it's eBay's responsibility to collect the taxes. Now, I think we're going to start running into some problems here. And I can really see a day coming here soon where legislators are going to, or somebody, the FTC is probably going to intervene and say, hey, you're not doing this the way that it's legally supposed to be done. I'm almost certain that this is illegal the way that it's being handled right now. And I'm going to be reaching out to the Small Business Ambassador Network and talking with them about this, because I don't think this is right. And I'm pretty certain this is illegal. So I want to see what we can do to make sure that everything is being done fairly, because we can't be in a position as sellers where we're being told you're not allowed to choose where you sell to. You can't say, I don't want to sell to New York because of their tax rate and have to deal with the headaches of that. You're forced to sell to there if you want to be a seller on the platform. You also can't adjust how the taxes are remitted from the transaction, even if you have a tax table set up. CatCon says, I agree. I don't think they are collecting properly to each state's laws. This is true. And the problem is it actually compounds and gets itself a little bit worse. The biggest problem now is that they've sent out the email letting everyone know, like, hey, you're going to be receiving your I-9 or your W-2. I don't know the specifics on how they do this one, but they're going to be sending it out to everyone. Unlike previous years, they added a little bit more color as far as who is going to have to deal with this nonsense. But historically, there was no notice. Nothing was sent to anyone. And I think that they're really trying to make sure that people understand this time, hey, you are responsible for sales tax on your transactions. Whether we took the money out or not, you're responsible for it. So let's say the Montana sales tax is 10%. And for the last 6 months, or let's pick a state, let's say Wisconsin. Wisconsin hasn't been set up. So for the last 6 months, the Wisconsin state itself has required sales tax to be collected on transactions for items sold to Wisconsin. But you didn't have your sales tax table set up. And we talked about this 6 months ago. I told everyone, you got to get your sales tax table set up. So let's say you did $1,000 worth of transactions there. Okay, you were supposed to collect $100 worth of taxes in that situation. And if you didn't, guess what? You owe the taxes on that. Okay, you're responsible for the sales tax on that transaction. Now here's where it gets really, really, really icky. Okay, they said that when you have either 20,000 transactions or $20,000 worth of transactions or 200 transactions, that means that you're going to have the information sent out to you, your tax information. Now, I want to be crystal flipping clear here to you, okay? Because I keep hearing this argument over and over. And they say, well, if they don't send me anything, I'm not responsible for it. Or I didn't sell enough to where I actually have to file taxes. Guys, there is no baseline minimum threshold other than the verbiage that the IRS uses that states if you sell more than a yard sales worth of stuff. Now, a yard sales worth of stuff can be comparative based on, I guess, your total net worth. Somebody who has $1 million could argue that, a couple $1,000s worth of stuff could be a yard sale amount, where somebody who's doing, a couple $1,000s online but maybe only has a $20,000 net worth, you really wouldn't argue that to be a yard sales worth of goods. So even if you have a lower amount of transactions, you're going to have to deal with this. Now, it gets even nastier than that, which I cannot understand how this is being managed so poorly. But when they send you your information and they say, hey, here's your gross receipts for your sales, they have not done the decency of separating out your sales tax from your transactions, which means you're going to have to pay your CPA, or you're going to have to sit down and look at the damn tax tables and figure out what transactions came from what states and what the tax rate was, and figure out how much eBay actually took out of the transactions, if they took out any, and whether or not you owe more, or if you need to contact the state tax board to see about getting a credit back if you want to try and fight to get that credit back. Isn't this just lovely, guys? Don't you just love doing business on eBay? And this is why brands like Mercari are getting big traction. I'm just going to be straightforward with you. Mercari's getting traction because people are tired of dealing with this stuff. Now, some of the comments, I was reading the news article about this, and the comments are, they're absolutely priceless. And they really do echo the same sentiment that I felt when I was reading through this. The first one said, the absurdity of this is beyond any realm of reality. Can't even imagine selling anything on the joke of a venue. They just push and push sellers, and they just keep taking it for a beating. First, it was collect sales tax on your own and report it. Then it was get sales tax permits for each state, which is very costly. And if you didn't have permits and collected taxes, then you could be suspended. After wasting all that money to get permits, then they decide that they will collect sales tax. And now you have to figure out how much eBay collected in sales tax on your sales and deduct that from your 1099. Wow, just wow, wake up sellers. And this is just one of the comments regarding that. Thrift Trader, it's separated in PayPal. Just download the CSV and reorder the transactions. You'll find what eBay took out for the sales tax. Now, here's the problem, though, with that, is that let's say you have your whole year's worth of transactions, and they only started emitting halfway through the year. even though the tax was responsible for the entirety of the year. You're going to have to sort out which transactions did they take tax out of and which ones didn't take tax out of. And if you were using your own tax table, or if you didn't meet minimum thresholds within the states. So the problem is that the whole idea was that eBay getting on board and doing all of this work, the idea was that it was going to make it easier on the sellers. That was the whole concept that we were being pitched. Rather than having to sort out our tax tables ourselves, eBay was going to step in and get it figured out. But the problem is it hasn't been done correctly. And it's going to be a nightmare for most people involved in this who aren't interested or capable of getting a qualified CPA to handle their tax situation. Now, there's going to be a lot of people nicking the numbers. Simple as that. I've talked with people already who said, I'm just gonna try and get as accurate as I can possibly get, and that's kind of going to be that. But I'll tell you right now, there's no way that the IRS could even come close to dealing with the amount of nonsense that's going to be coming in the direction. You know what I'm going to do? Say F it to the rest. The IRS will not deal with everyone. I guarantee. Yep, that's exactly what I was saying. They will not deal with everyone because it's way too much. It's way too much. I'll tell you, my taxes are going to be so damn screwed up, they're not even going to make it through mine, so don't even worry about doing yours. I do have to ask for this, that is a joke, of course. The sheer amount of tax errors this year are going to be incalculable between the taxes, the annual shipping increases, the fees, the scams, and overall corruption. It's a wonder anyone is left selling online. I'm really perplexed how anyone can make a profit anymore. I'm so glad I vacated this chaotic greed fest the last year. And this is really, the scaling of the expenses when it comes to doing business, particularly on eBay, is what's really going to start driving that platform down. But that's why we have a lovely thing called Mercari. And Mercari has been a wonderful place to go to shovel out your wares. And the company is gaining traction at an incredible rate. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I got an opportunity to chat with Richard Eberhardt again. We recorded a little pre-recorded interview. It's about 40 minutes long. Grab a drink if you want. We talked about Mercari as well as a handful of other things going on within the platform. So if you're not super familiar with Mercari, while this is playing, it's a great time to go ahead and download the app. You can create your account at the same time. We don't get anything for it, but I'll tell you right now, the last 30 days, I did nearly $1,000 on Mercari, and that's on top of everything else. I wasn't taking inventory away from some other place and putting it onto Mercari. I was literally listing up everything from McDonald's, Build-A-Bear toys, to candles, to paperweights, to other things that just simply wouldn't sell on eBay, lots and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and check out that interview. Let's see if we can get this pulled up correctly. I think we got this. Let's check out the interview. It's a good one. This is Jay Craft again here with the Facebook group All Around Pickers Lounge, and I am being joined again by the one, the only Richard Eberhardt, our pro in-house Mercari seller. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I want to start off by wishing you a very Merry Christmas. It's that time of year again.
Definitely Merry Christmas to you as well.
Yeah, I see that you got a gift early in the mail this year. I'm liking that shirt that you're rocking.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. Those of you who don't know, we got some new merch that's just rolled out. We got the information in the description down below. Definitely check that out. But we have you on today because we wanted to pick your ear about Mercari. And a lot of people have been curious how your sales have been doing, how my sales have been doing, just a little bit of everything. But how is your e-commerce, I guess as a whole, we'll start there, for Q4 and between the platforms that you're working with?
Yeah, Q4 started off slow, but then it really picked up. It was hitting on all cylinders for a while there, and I was quite happy with it. I noticed the more effort I put into it, the more effort I got out of it.
Yeah, there's something real special about that. As long as you continue to drive the platforms that you're working, you're generally going to see results as long as the platform is sound. Definitely. So last time we spoke, I know you had a fair amount of stuff on Mercari. Have you been still consistently listing onto the platform?
Yeah, I probably put about 40 to 50% of the items I'm listing on Mercari as well.
And I guess this is a great place to start. Somebody posed this question the other day within the Bolo Mercari Facebook group, and we have a link down below for that one too. They had asked, what are your determining factors to decide whether or not something should go on the very well-established, very well-known eBay or the brand new, fresh-to-market, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed face of Mercari?
Basically, I tell a lot of people, there's a lot of trial and error, especially in categories. Some categories do great, some don't do so well. So you just kind of play around and see, throw a few things up here and there to see if you're getting the views and the likes and stuff like that, or even the sales. I've already, on my stuff, I kind of know what sells and what doesn't already. Electronics obviously sell well, clothing, toys, video games, beauty products, makeups, your creams, all that stuff sells very well on Mercari. Perfume, stuff that doesn't are those weird antiques that you have a small niche looking for.
Do you think that speaks just more so to the buyer pool more than anything else? Yeah, because when I think of Mercari, it's clearly an app-based experience. You're not going on the website to buy items. I think you can only buy them through the app. So we have
as far as I know, I haven't played around with the website too much. They keep adding things to the website, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's an option now as well.
Okay. And as far as the generation that's using app-based shopping predominantly, I mean, we're not seeing a lot of people in their 50s and 60s, not to exclude that group, but we're probably seeing a very much so disproportionate, maybe like 5% of the community.
Say 5.
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to get those oddball. I sold a glass paperweight on there the other day, so you're going to get those oddball sales. And like you're saying, trial and error. I put some soaps on there, some really nice Italian, hand milled soaps on there just to see, and they're still sitting. But it's worth the trial and error. Now you said you have some go-to categories, obviously clothing, fashion as a whole, beauty products. Do you have any outliers that were a little bit surprising for you as well?
Actually sold 3 bottles of Suave moisturizing cream.
That is
nothing high end, but I think they were discontinued because we discontinued them at my store, so that's how I ended up with them.
Oh, very nice.
I found them was in one of the bags I had put in storage, and I pulled them out. I'm like, I'll throw them up. eBay had a few views, nothing crazy. Mercari had likes and views, and all of a sudden, boom, new buyer bought it. First time on the platform. I mean, and I've been seeing that a lot more as of the last 2 or 3 weeks. There's a lot of new faces coming to the platform.
And that's a really powerful thing too, is when these people come to the platform, because in my opinion the selection is very slim. And I say that comparative to eBay. Don't get me wrong, they probably have, if I had to take a conservative guess, probably 1 to 2 million listings. Just based on what I've seen so far. It's a healthy number, but comparative to, eBay's, probably nearly a billion listings at this point, some disgusting number. It seems to lend to a higher conversion rate, like people willing to make the account, willing to pull the trigger. I think those little badges help a lot too. The trusted seller, verified seller, stuff to those effects.
Fast responder,
yes. And then being able to see like a visual representation of feedback, but the feedback is set up in a way where the consumers are able to leave very nice things right off the bat.
Oh, and not only that, there's more characters for that feedback. So they can write a full paragraph if they choose to, explaining your shipping, your explanations, your communications if they had questions prior. And you can get some ones that are just, oh my God, they melt your heart, and it makes you feel good to be on the platform.
Yeah.
You can't really have that on eBay, or even on Amazon or anything like that, because they're so short with their feedback.
Yeah, no, it's well, they limit the number of characters, and I frankly don't understand why. I mean, if you want to limit the number of characters on a negative review to protect the seller, sure, nobody's going to complain about that. But if somebody wants to write a little bit of an essay and talk about that above and beyond consumer experience, they should be allowed to. They really should be. Now, I don't want to trail too far away from the original question that was posed within our group regarding how you go about placing items. My method is a little bit different. I look at stuff and I say, okay, if this has an established track record of successfully selling on eBay, I'm going to start there. Plain and simple. If I know for a fact, if I put it on eBay, it's going to sell, why really mess with anything else? Now, we do have a couple of members that just simply don't sell on eBay. And I know some people do it because they have, a little bit of politics behind it. Some people simply don't like the platform. Some people have had suspended accounts, so they're going elsewhere. But I would say if you have the ability to use eBay, start there. And if I, and I want people to know my hierarchy even starts beyond that. If I can sell it on Amazon, it's going to Amazon. If I can sell it, and then if I can't, it's going to eBay. And if I can't, or I feel as if though that it might have a faster sell through. And I know you were talking about the trial and error method. For me, I'm finding that obviously comic books, trading cards, video games, collectibles, these types of items that really pair up well with, you know, your millennials, your Gen
Right.
Z, you know, the you know, that type of demographic. If those people are buying those types of things, those are the types of items that you want to have on Mercari,
Right.
and they can, in some instances, fetch at or above what they sell for on eBay.
Easily. It was, you know, just recently there was a couple things that I sold on Mercari that went for more than they were selling for on eBay, or I even had listed on eBay for.
Yep, and you're actually getting still paid more on a Mercari sale. Plus, you're getting the additional the value on the sale, because you know a
Right.
$15 sale on eBay is worth less than a $15 sale on
Correct.
Mercari. So you're technically
taking
double
PayPal
you're
out,
double
so.
dipping. Yeah, you're double
Correct.
dipping. You're making the good money, and then there's the whole tax situation as well, where people are getting dinged even harder on their final values on eBay
Right.
too, comparative to Mercari. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm trying to find, you know, the items that I guess you would see at Comic Cons or Collecticons. Those types of items, by default, I shove them to Mercari because it's a very visual shopping experience. And we've talked about this before. You know, you scroll through and you're seeing a lot of images, but you're not seeing a whole lot of, you know, of the
Titles.
text to go along with it. So now
Yeah,
you've been on the platform. How long have you been like seriously selling there? Let me ask you that.
Well, I seriously sold for about 6 months in the beginning. Then I tailed off and I did it occasionally. It's been about 8 or 9 months now since I've been serious inside.
Okay, and in that 8 or 9 months, okay, we've worked with a lot of people who have just started on Mercari, and you know, I get phone calls from the patrons who help support this, and they ask me a lot of I guess the same questions about getting started, and I always refer them back to that interview that we did together. Is there anything that we didn't cover in that interview that you feel like we should addendum into this one for those who are starting out on Mercari, or things that you think might be important to know week one, month one type things that we didn't cover?
The one thing that comes to my mind is people are more apt to ask a ton of questions on Mercari. I mean, that is something that I have noticed. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're not trying to be a pain, because these are just regular people. They just happen to come across them. Oh, let me ask a question about it, or something like that. Where it's like they walk up to a garage sale and they say, "Oh, what's the story behind it?" or something along those lines. And I have found that if you have great customer service beforehand, you're more likely to get to the sale and a positive experience after.
I've noticed I've
And
been
a
able to
repeat
ask
buyer.
for the sale even, you know, where I'll answer a couple of somebody's questions, and they can be highly specific questions. And twice now, I followed up at the end. I'm like, hey, I really hope that this resolved all of your questions. We would love to earn your business, and I can ship this item out today if you're prepared to purchase. And just very, very formal, very friendly, and then instant convert to a buyer.
Yes.
Yeah. Where you don't really get that with eBay. Now, the questions that people are asking you, are they, I know you said one person had mentioned like wanting some of the history of the item. Is it generally like provenance type questions, or is it more so like item specific type questions?
More item specifics, like in the video game category, there are some games that require certain controllers, and they'll ask if I actually have the controller. Or let's see here, what was another one?
We're talking like Steel Battalion.
No, I'm talking the buzz controllers for the PS2.
Oh, okay.
That one, and then like people will ask for like, do I have the gamepad for like Dance Dance Revolution or something along those lines?
Oh, yeah, that's a beefy one to try and get tossed on in.
Yeah. So, but you know, just a lot of them are saying, well, they'll see it and they'll say, is it still available? And a lot of times you'll just say yes. You're like, all right, cool, and then they'll start talking. You know, so you know that is it still available thing like people hate on Facebook is actually much easier to deal with on this one because it's an actual question.
Yeah, like it's an actual person who's looking for a legitimate answer. And I'll be frank with you, I'm about this close to writing off Facebook Marketplace and never using it again. It really feels like it's turning into quite the time sink. And I was even thinking about unironically making a shirt that says, "Is this item still available?" and just wearing that, because I think people would genuinely buy and wear that shirt. I like unironically just go around with it on. But so so yeah, we do get, I find this too. I do happen to get quite a few questions in, but it leads to decent conversion. And I guess that kind of segues into that next question. What type of volume would you say you're doing on there? Like per month? People want to know the number. I don't care about your numbers personally, but people want to know, like, can I make $1,000, $2,000 on Mercari? Like how long? How often?
Easily.
Okay,
During Q4 last year, I was doing 4,000.
4,000 in the month.
Yeah.
And
do
what do you
4,000
think
in
you're on
December.
track for this month? And are you full time with it? Or are you part time in it? What are you doing?
Well, I'm not as full time as I was last Christmas, that's for sure. But I'm probably doing half. It's not, I would say part time because I do have a full time job that does take up a lot of my time. And then I have been pushing quicker stuff through eBay just because it's faster cash.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening to you. I'm going to pull up my numbers right now because I'm actually really not sure the volume that I've done so far. Okay, it says my total earnings so far. I've done $662 since I started on Mercari. I've sold 25 items so far, and that's what was it, about 2 months ago. We had that talk.
Month and a half too.
Yeah,
September 19th. No, October 19th.
Yeah, and I've been going through essentially playing catch up on my back listings and doing all my repairs and servicing and everything like that, and just casually tossing up things that I feel would be appropriate for there. Funko Pops, Dorbs, action figures, comics, just a little nonsense type tat, but it's going out the door. And frankly, some of the stuff, we had talked about the power of bundles, and as well as the power of like visually aesthetic items, and I've had success with random lots of video games. My roommate has also had huge success with game lots, and then also other visually appealing items. Somebody had asked about this too, plush, aka stuffed animals. Yeah. Now we both know Pam. She's one of our lovely admins, and she's been moving a ton of plush on Mercari. She is turning into the plush queen and definitely trying to give me a run for my money when it comes to plush. And I'll be frank with you, I have been buying plush purely for the visual aesthetic, that I can take a gorgeous picture of almost any Disney plush out there and pop it online. And if I had more time, I'll tell you right now, if I had more time, I would probably list up like 30 a week, and I could see me selling through them no problem, because there's a lot of moms on there doing shopping.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Busy moms at that, we're just going, okay, boom. Oh, you're done.
Yep. Easy peasy. Oh, my girl wants something related to Dora the Explorer. Hop on. Here's a great picture of a plush. Okay, I'll buy it. It's $12 shipped. I'll buy this one. And then they pull the trigger on it. And
I mean, that under $50 area is the sweet spot for a lot of that stuff. Once you go over, you still sell it, but it's not near as fast. That 20 to 30 range is probably that nice sweet spot where if you got it in that range, maybe 15 to 30, it'll fly out the door. And that's the one thing I have noticed on just about anything.
And not only that, but you can also build piles of otherwise semi-worthless plush. So there's a lot of Build-A-Bear plush that are $7 to $9 on eBay. They're just very plain, very generic. But if you put 5 to 10 of those together and you say, 10 Build-A-Bear bears for $50, now it's starting to look like a pretty good value to the consumer.
Yes, it is.
And for those of you who are out there watching who don't know, we ship a predominant amount of our plush in poly bags, and they're just really thin plastic bags. If it's under a pound, it's less than $5.50 anywhere in America. So I know some people are watching this and saying, like, how do you even make money on a $15 sale or a $12 sale? You can, especially if you're getting your plush in massive quantities. And it's one of those things where, I obviously am not going to recommend it to the person who's doing, $100,000 a year doing resale. But if you're somebody looking to supplement your income and you're looking for a very cheap category to get into, a very easy item to maintain, because you can load trash bags, tie them off and put them in the garage to store your plush if you need to. You don't need nice flat shelves. You don't even have to have bins. You can literally bag them up and put them away, and stack them like crazy. You can wash them. You can throw them in a washing machine to clean them if you need to. If you get a Build-A-Bear, you can take it into the store and have the fluff removed and have it restuffed, or even sell it as an empty skin and get that free restuffing. I mean, there's so many things there's so many advantages that plush have that people aren't cognizant of.
And just about every category in collectibles has a plush.
Exactly.
You got your characters across the board. So
yeah, there's quality items within that category for almost any type of consumer. And we're not even in the best plush season yet. I mean, Christmas is great and all, but I love Valentine's Day. I move an absurd amount of plush during Valentine's Day. And the thing is, too, I probably have maybe about 100 to 150 plus pieces on eBay, and I do plan to start either cross posting or moving some of the older ones across to try and get more of that velocity, because plush sells fast on Mercari.
Yes.
And there's not many people on there doing it. So there, now that reminds me of something else. When we're talking about moving listings over, talking about making new listings, you discovered something the other day regarding listing visibility and getting increased views and
Oh yes. If you're when you, if you have something already on Mercari and you go in there and tweaking it, it changes the edited time frame on the item itself, which will move it up or down the list. Say you had something on there for a month and a half, and you wanted, I'll add this game to it, and you go in there and change pictures around, change the title, change the price. When you finish editing, you click back up, it'll go right back to the top.
So we're talking about moving a listing back to the top of search.
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes.
how many things do you actually have to change within the listing? Have you experimented with just like a minor title change to see if that happens?
In the beginning, it didn't work. You would have to do like a title change or a price change for it to get it to move. Now, simply deactivating and reactivating it will get it new life.
Really?
I can't. Yeah, we haven't been able to do a pinpoint where the search results will put it, but I've noticed I just experimenting, because that's what everybody says to do on eBay, pretty much. And I had increased views across the board. I had likes pop up on things that had been up for several months. And the only other thing could it be pure coincidence? Sure. One or two of those items might be coincidence, but when it was all at once, where you can go in there and actually see the views on, say, a group of 10 items, all jump up by 5 or 10 views across the board, you know.
So rather than doing, I guess, the promote option, where
Right.
you're, dropping the price in exchange for visibility, you're just going in, potentially adding a space to a title,
right.
deactivating, reactivating, and then boom, you're right back at the top again.
A lot of times, what you can do now even is, because it's if you promote something, it tells anybody who's actually looked at it. You don't even have to have liked it. It'll send you a message in your notification saying you just looked at this. It's now this price, so it's on promotion or whatever the case may be. And then me and you were talking about this that one day, where you promote something, then go back and edit and raise back the price back up to the top again, and it gets both benefits. It gets a promotion email sent out, and it's actually the price doesn't change, so you're not losing any money. That has worked a few times. I have tried as well.
Very nice.
Stealing your idea.
Yeah, now it's a little bit of it's probably not something that Mercari wants everyone doing or everyone knowing about. So I would say, use it with caution. Don't jeopardize your account. We're not saying go and spam every one of your items every 15 minutes just to game the system. But I would say if you have some maybe old items that are underperforming, it could be a way to get some new eyes on them. I guess that's the best way we can leave that.
Yeah, because it's a search heavy platform where everybody's looking at those first things listed on that search area, and then they'll go. Yeah, sometimes they'll go and search, price plus shipping lowest or whatever the case may be, but or price lowest. There's no plus shipping on there. But a lot of times you're looking at that first few scrolls down through the list of what after their search, and it's all stuff that's listed in the last week or 3 to 6 days, even sometimes in certain categories. So if it's not in front of their eyes right off the bat, they may not see it unless it's a dedicated collector looking for something, who will scroll down and do sort and stuff like that.
Okay,
and it's a top heavy platform.
No, I agree 100%. Now, when it comes to search, we've actually we talked with Pam again, and she was imploring regarding search within buyers within buyers, sellers, stores, etc., to be able to try and help your buyers be able to locate items. And we talked with her and told her we haven't had much luck with communicating with Mercari. Now, I know you have contacted their press. I have contacted their press, and
I've contacted every other way I could think of.
Yep.
Press, Facebook, in-app, chat, everything, in every way you could think of.
Yeah, same here. And it absolutely blows my mind. I even got a survey from Patreon today, and I was asked to answer all these questions regarding my Patreon experience. And I personally think that the Patreon website is it's really bad, and I don't like the interface. I don't like Jack Conte and his political views. There's a lot of things I don't like about the company. And one of the biggest problems that I had was the fact that, I have been with them for oh God, going on over 4 years now, and the company has seen over probably 20 or 30,000 in revenue pass through the site. I have never once gotten a true personal message from anyone at Patreon. I've never once gotten an outbound call from anyone to, to follow up on my creator account or anything like that ever. And I
Right.
feel that, this disconnect, some people get that with YouTube. You hear that on YouTube a lot. I feel that disconnect and that unhuman, untouchable presence can really screw a site, like really, really bad. You know,
That's
I like I said,
right.
I've contacted press, I've contacted the Facebook. I have an email that I was going back and forth with somebody about saying like, hey, these are the questions our community has. We want to know about updates. We want essentially like seller updates like eBay has. We want to know about what's changing. We want to know about new benefits coming to the platform early,
Right.
things that we can expect. We don't want to spend all of our time building a store in a very specific way to then later see, policies or changes might really screw up this work.
Not
And
only
I've
that,
heard nothing.
it's like that, you know.
Yeah, I've heard absolutely nothing from anyone over on
Right.
the Mercari end. And I take it you haven't had any luck either?
No, as a matter of fact, a lot of times I was trying to get a straight answer on the shipping changes, and it's like they don't even read. They just kind of send out this canned message every time. Oh, well, we'll pass it on up to the chain and blah blah blah. When you're not even reading it in the first place. And one of the things that people were complaining about was, even though a lot of them don't ship on their own, so they're using those labels, but now they have to do all this work beforehand. And even if you know what you're doing beforehand, sometimes it's not even right, because it looked like they were doing dimensional shipping on all packages, not just ones that were 12 by 12 or 12 big or whatever it is. No, they were doing on everything. Their example was a 7 by 7 by 4 package, and it was 3 pounds, but they were paying 4 pounds. So you're doing something hinky there.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's another thing that a lot of people have, we haven't really addressed too much publicly, and that's the changes to shipping on
Right.
Mercari. And this was honestly a pretty big change
Yes,
from
it
the
was
first time
huge,
we talked.
huge.
And those of you who don't know, Mercari changed how they provided shipping labels to the sellers and required them to add the packaging information before the item was even sold. Is that
Right.
correct? Okay. And the reason I'm not even positive on it is because I do all of my items free shipping. I provide my own
Right.
labels. I do everything through Pirate Ship. Now, the big appeal to Mercari, which I believe is similar to those who are coming across from Etsy or Posh or wherever it was, that they had the labels were generated for them. It was pretty much flat rate up to a certain weight, and you take your
Right.
label and you slap it on the package, and boom, it's out the door. Now,
Right.
have you seen any actual like real applicable changes to the community or to the market since this change has happened?
I have. A lot of times people who were doing the Mercari labels have quit because of this change in policy. Because they were getting used to the fact that you could go, oh, it's 2 pounds-ish, so the 1 to 3 pound label was perfect. You didn't have to measure it out, just slap it on. But now they actually do some of the work like you would do on eBay. Even more work, because eBay you can kind of put in a guesstimation and then figure it out later. This you really can't do that with. You have to know what set of label to use beforehand. But
Yeah.
that's what I tell people. Look, everybody's going to have to learn how to ship on their own.
And this is why I
It's going to
tell
be better in the long run.
this is why I tell people that it's important to learn the fundamentals of eBay first before you start
Gives
anything
you all
else.
those tools.
Yeah, because you get the full tool set of things that you need to be able to sell on other platforms.
Right.
I know some people who start on Amazon, where they want to start eBay and Amazon in the same week, and I tell them you are wildly foolish. Okay.
Right.
Now, can you do it? Sure. If you're a very smart, quick learner, adaptable, and also you don't need the money, sure, you can learn everything at the same time. But if you're a savvy, money hungry individual, starting on eBay and learning customer service, learning how to determine the value of an item correctly. I saw
Yes.
and I don't want to go off on I don't know a trail or something. I saw somebody have a $300 item, and somebody had given them a $100 offer, and they posted it to their timeline saying, "Should I accept this offer?" And it's just like,
And you're like this.
yeah, I'm face palming hard. I'm like, how do you not know what your item is worth? You're
Right.
the one who purchased it. You're the one who listed it. Is it worth $300? Do you feel you can get better? what's going on here. So
Right.
having eBay and learning how to correctly price, and then the big one, how to correctly ship. Because
Right.
once you've used flat envelopes, flat padded, regional boxes, priority, express, once you've used all of these options,
Cubic, all that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I can pick up a board game and I can say, okay, well, if it's this size, okay, and no thicker than this, I can ship it in a medium. Okay, so
Right.
worst case scenario, it's $12. Oh, if it's a long one, okay, I know it's going to be no more than $15 to ship it. But
Right.
having those fundamentals in your back pocket before you actually get started makes Mercari infinitely easier.
Oh,
So,
yes.
but
Because then
here's
you
the
understand everything first. How these things
exactly.
go. And that's the
But
hardest
but
part.
at the same time, I also feel they did a great job of shooting themselves in the foot with some of these people that may have never historically done e-commerce. Okay, maybe never even gave credence to the idea, including some people who had their own businesses. They were making their own candles and bows and
Right.
toys and
Right.
stuff like that, who now look at it and say, you know what? It's not worth the trouble. It's not
Right.
worth the effort. And
No.
honestly, I think a lot of this could have been either either avoided completely by leaving things as they were, and e-commerce sellers are the pickiest people in the world about not futzing with settings and things that we've
Oh,
gotten
yeah.
used to. I've never met a community more like this. Bring
Right.
back our 10-day buy it now listings. I've never met a community like this before, but I get it. I get it. They could have also softened the blow by being reasonable adults and saying, hey, in 30 days, we are
Right.
going to make this change. But in the meantime, we want to let you know how you can prepare your store for these changes, and screw it. We're gonna assist you by offering a couple of complimentary labels if necessary to help you complete your orders. That
Right.
would have been fine. Nobody would have complained. Or put together
Right.
some training videos on the topic and say, hey,
Yes.
today we're going to learn how to correctly ship your items. Don't leave it to the Facebooks and to the YouTubes and the Twitter communities to solve your PR nightmare for you.
Right.
I know I'm just venting
No.
here, but
No. You're fine. Because I had the same event. I mean, we see stuff coming sometimes months in advance on eBay. We know it's coming. We know it's coming. We know it's coming. We're preparing, to do this or that. Here, it's an update. 9 times out of 10, you don't know about an update until the first person talks about
Yep. Yep.
it. And sometimes it could be a couple days, sometimes a week, and then everybody's got it, and you're kind of trying to learn on the fly.
And I'll be honest with you, that is part of my reservations about diving in so heavy, because I know some people who have 400 to 1,000 listings on Mercari, and that's the only place they post their items. And if Mercari flips the switch and says, okay, hey guys, we're going to go ahead and start assessing a 20% final value fee on our items. I mean, what would you do? Because here's the thing, I'll tell you right now.
20%, I don't know.
Well, at 20%, you say, okay, well, I might not list anything else, but I'm just going to maybe leave what I have there till it's sold. Okay. And I think a lot of us might take that stance.
Mm.
But I don't know. I'm a little bit afraid because of the lack of communication and the big one, the lack of transparency as far as what's happening. Because somebody else, and I hear this with eBay a lot, somebody else is dictating how I run my business.
Right.
And I don't frankly care for that.
No. We're still searching for that perfect platform,
And I've seen platforms, I've seen them come and go. We're actually, we worked with one historically, which, I don't want to badmouth them, but I don't know where they're going to be going. And we're talking with another one right now that has, again, same thing, bright-eyed, bushy-tail, a lot of aspirations, really wants to be the next big one. But, unless you got a lot of money, and we're talking gobs of cash. I mean, to launch a good platform right now would probably cost over $1 million to make it successful.
Easily.
And it could easily take 5 years, maybe even 10, to become cash flow positive. So it's a difficult market to break into.
5, yeah. Well, even Amazon didn't get cash positive until their 5th year. So.
Well, they did that intentionally. Yeah, they didn't want to make any money. They wanted to look particularly weak and reduce their tax cost each and every year. So but it didn't stop the investors, that's for sure. Now the other thing too is, I guess we also need to be mindful of the fact that other brands could simply step in and buy Mercari, because as of right now, Mercari is not an expensive company. A couple of $1 million, maybe $15 million could buy Mercari right off the open market at this point.
Probably more like 150 million would probably buy it, but yeah.
You thinking 50?
At least.
I'm curious.
Well, hell, when honey sells for what, 1.4 billion?
That's honey. Honey had some deep pockets, and
Nobody knows about
they
honey. That's
they were
strange.
connected. They were connected very deeply with something like 200 plus merchants. They had a lot of good
Yeah.
ties, and they were also raking in, like 1 or
One of these days,
2%
have to
on
tell me how
sales.
they're making money off of us saving money. They never understood that, but it's okay.
Well, you know what it is? It's the value of the data. I'm looking up the market. Okay, well, hard to say. Okay, apparently I am undervaluing Mercari big time. 32 million app downloads. Okay.
Right.
$111 million worth of funding generated so far. Okay, so this is what I said. Like, to even consider bumping up, $1 to $2 million is going to need to be in the kitty to get that ball legitimately rolling.
10.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they got the ball rolling with a couple of million, and then their first big investor dropped 75 after they saw the potential. So the funding alone really drives it up, and they're saying it's $1 billion company already. So I tip my hat to you, Richard.
Don't take
okay?
much.
Yeah, the company is worth. What are we doing here? Why aren't we starting an e-commerce brand? Why aren't we?
Right? We're in the wrong business.
We are in the wrong business. We shouldn't be helping anyone. We should just be making all the money ourselves. That's what we should be doing. So. And then not telling anyone about the policy changes that we're making. Yeah. And part of me feels that policy change is certainly a cash grab as well. I think that they're able to skim a little bit more money off the top on the shipping labels, and when you're doing that,
very well be what they're doing.
Yeah, and when you see that type of velocity, that kind of explains why.
I mean, if they were doing it standard shipping, that's what it looked like. They were just doing standard shipping rates, which is fine because that's what you're used to doing everywhere else. But because I think they did it because so many people were underweighting their items using those $2.99 labels for £1.50, and which I bought 2 items from there where they did that and it came fine. But Mercari's getting killed on the back end from the post office.
Oh yeah, no, we're in a situation right now where even companies like Pirate Ship are being held accountable to the new changes that happened to shipping in January of 2019 regarding how they do the visual scans of the packages, and they will charge you back against the differences now. I've had a couple of packages that were 15.9 ounces. You know what I mean? That 1 pound 0.02 ounce, and you roll it down, and they got me on it. They're like, we're gonna assess you at priority weight, 1 pound 1 ounce, and they charge me $5.50 on top, and I'm like, okay, you got me. You got me. I'll take it. And but I'm not to a point where I'm gonna be knocking a half pound or I've had some dicey ones come in. Every time I buy bubble wrap, I'm just floored that something that size is being shipped for such a cheap price. I'm getting 4 350-foot rolls at one time. It's this massive poly trash bag you can put 5 bodies inside of, and they're shipping it to me for like $8.50. Okay, and I'm buying the bubble wrap for $27.50 online. I just don't understand how this is happening.
I'd like to know how they did that too, because I just did that not too long ago, actually.
Media. They just say it's a giant scroll or something. I don't know what they're doing to get away with it, but it's happening. But hey, I do want to thank you for coming on. A lot of people had these questions. They were pressing questions for people, and I guess we'll wrap up with I guess if you have a sentiment or a thought for people who are currently on Mercari, something just one last little bit of info you'd like to give them before we send off.
The customers are there, so whatever changes you might not like or you absolutely hate, adapt and learn, because you'll still make a ton of money doing it. Especially those who are already making good money. The customers aren't going anywhere. They're looking for sellers, not buyers. The buyers they need the sellers. And now that the sellers are leaving, this opens up a bigger hole in that marketplace for you to fill, which means higher velocity and more sales in those categories where people were leaving for.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I would agree with you on
the
that.
Storm,
Yeah, especially if you have high quality replenishable items, then you can do very, very well on Mercari. So, well, with that being said, Richard, I want to thank you so much again for taking the time to be here, obviously supporting and helping drive the community. Where can people find you on Facebook, the community page that you're running for us now?
Bolo Mercari.
Cool.
Facebook page. I'm on there every day. If you have any questions, even if I'm at work, I can answer questions. You can direct message me if you don't want to do a public post. If you want to join our group, please do. Our Patreon group is awesome. I mean, I joined, what, 6 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, and it has been nothing but, awesome since I joined. And I've learned so much from this group, and Jay and everybody else in the group, and we have a great time. We're like a big family.
Yeah, I truly can't agree more. And those of you who don't know, we're all planning on getting together for eBay Open this year and having a heck of a time. I'm going to get down there a couple of days early, and I don't even know if I told you this yet. I've talked about this behind the scenes. I guess we'll announce it here. I will be giving a very special class on negotiations while I am down there, and we'll be pairing people off into teams, and we'll be creating scenarios and everything, and I will be right there hands on, and we're gonna kind of have some fun with it, because negotiations is one of the hardest things to teach over video, because it doesn't have that right vibe and that right feel, that right energy. So we're going to do it on site in person, and maybe we'll even go to a swap meet together. I think that could be a heck of a good time. Yeah, get some cameras rolling and just have a great time with it. So as Richard was saying, if you'd like to join our community, the information's down below. It's filthy cheap. It's less than $1 a day to be in the community.
Come on, join, yes.
Yeah, and this is what I tell people, it pays for itself. If it doesn't, we'll give you your money right back. We got no problems with that. So again, Richard, thank you so much for being on today, and I look forward to our next talk.
Definitely. You have a good one now.
Thank you. You too. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Hey, there we go. What was that? Oh, is my mic on? Yes, my mic is on. Yeah, what a great little sit-down discussion with the one and only Richard himself. A big thank you to him for taking the time to be on and continue the discussion that we had previously regarding Mercari. If you missed the first part of it, I definitely recommend you go back and watch it. But yeah, thank you to those of you who took the time to sit that through. It was a little long-winded, but there's a lot of stuff to cover. A lot of stuff happening with Mercari right now, and it's going to be interesting to see what direction they continue to move forward. And how cool would it be to go to some type of Mercari themed event? I know Etsy and Posh are doing their things as well, but yeah. My connectivity is bad where I am now, but I am here still lagging. I'm sorry to hear that you're lagging, Dana. You can always lower your resolution. That will help with the lag if you're having some problems. If you're streaming this in 1080p, that'll definitely hurt the connection. And those of you who have good connection to stream it lower should crank it up, because we spend extra money, so everything looks sharper for you guys. We have another little video for you. This one's kind of an interesting one. So recently, I stumbled across a brand called Oddbox on Facebook, and I gave the guy a comment on his post because I found his video to be so quirky and so interesting. And I said, how would you like to do an odd collaboration? And they went ahead and took the bite. I'm going to go ahead and show you this video. It's such a quirky little video. I think you guys are going to enjoy. Check this out.
Service wherein you will receive strange, unusual, and very stupid things. Primary among these is the t-shirt. A very strange t-shirt. It's absolutely meaningless, and it is guaranteed to confuse your friends, your neighbors, and your loved ones, absolutely in that order. Now, we could show you these strange t-shirt designs, but we won't. Not here in this video, and not on our website. In fact, after each shirt is printed and shipped, we hire this jerk to scribble all over the design with permanent marker, so it can never be used again. Hey, nice job, jerk. Oh, did I mention a gold watch? Every month, I will deposit one very real gold watch into our very attractive box. And each month, one of our lucky customers will receive said watch along with their t-shirt.
Are you guys having trouble hearing it? Should be able to hear it. I got turned up. Can you hear it now?
Surprised, confused, bewildered, and probably even a little upset. And furthermore, Oddbox is packaged in a box so beautiful, so colorful, it'll make your puppy butt-sucking eyeballs explode into In addition to a strange and confusing t-shirt.
Here, let me see what's going on. That makes no sense. You guys should have been able to hear it. I got that thing cranked way up. Give me 1 second. It's whispers, really. Let me kill my feed. That way it's not drawing from me. And let me see if that does it. Just let me know right away if you can't hear it. And I'll crank it way the heck up for you, okay? Okay, let's see if we can get that.
Is start a company called Oddbox. Now, Oddbox is a monthly subscription service wherein you will receive strange, unusual, and very stupid
we got it
things.
now.
Primary among these is the
Good?
t-shirt. A very strange t-shirt. It's absolutely meaningless, and it is guaranteed to confuse your friends, your neighbors, and your loved ones, absolutely in that order. Now, we could show you these strange t-shirt designs, but we won't. Not here in this video, and not on our website. In fact, after each shirt is printed and shipped, we hire this jerk to scribble all over the design with permanent marker so it can never be used again. Hey, nice job, jerk. Oh, did I mention a gold watch? Every month, I will deposit one very real gold watch into our very attractive box. And each month, one of our lucky customers will receive said watch along with their t-shirt. There are lots of subscription box services out there. My own research, I found at least 3. But they're universally terrible, boring, and a total waste of money. They make me so mad! With Oddbox, you'll be truly surprised, confused, bewildered, and probably even a little upset. And furthermore, Oddbox is packaged in a box so beautiful and so colorful, it'll make your puppy butt eyeballs explode into 1,000 pieces. In addition to a strange and confusing t-shirt, you'll also receive several other carefully curated strange and confusing items. For instance, expired name tags, unshareable stickers, inflatable near circles. This stuff! Who knows what the next month's box will bring? And in every box will include an apology letter you can pin to your wall and a completely fabricated story of how your t-shirt design came to be. And all of this is guaranteed to make you laugh, sure, but more importantly to remind you that even though you live on a planet with 7.5 billion other people, you are destined to experience most things bewildered and alone. What we are doing here is very important. Please subscribe to Oddbox today. Let's go!
Such a quirky commercial. Yeah, no, I saw that ad on Facebook and I immediately left a comment saying like, hey, you know, I don't want to talk to your marketing department. I don't want to have to email somebody. You're an odd company. Let's make an odd collaboration. Send me one of your boxes. I am desperately curious what's inside of it. And I'm willing to open it up on air and find out. So you can see we got it right over here. I have not opened it yet. Okay. But what I did do was I peeled off the shipping label that was on this side here. But it is still nice and sealed. And I got a little bit of details from his personal page. Now, here's the thing. Some of you guys have seen him before, but you haven't connected the dots yet. Okay? Anyone out there watch Shark Tank? Anyone familiar with that show? Remember the guy who went on there and did the dance and said, I will draw a cat for you, and did the little shoulder dance? Same guy. Really nice guy, and I got a chance to chat with him online, and, you know, we talked a little bit. I want to firstly start off by saying that this is an absolutely beautiful box. He was not lying. This is a corrugate with, I can't remember what you call this type of, when you add color directly to the box. But it's a very, very nice quality box. But let's crack this bad boy open. Let's see what's inside of here. I have been ridiculously curious about this since it showed up. It showed up this morning, actually, against my better judgment. Oh, Oh, literally has a sorry card on top. So I told him, yes, the cat picture. That guy, do you know how many cat pictures he sold? I think it's something like, it's either 2,000 or 20,000. It's a absolute, I think it's 20,000. It's absolute ton of cat pictures that he sold. And I can't remember what he sold them for. This is odd box number 2. It says, we forgot to figure out what goes here in this Comic Sans section. So once again, this is just filler. So it has the apology letter. It's a little bit wordy. I don't feel like reading it out right now. Yeah, and these graphics are fantastic. They make me want to throw up. I really, really like just how wild it is. But I think those are supposed to be little cats. Those look like almost little cat ears. I don't know. Possibly. Then has a little about the author. This is funny. It says, noses that really blank me off. Number 1 through 10, a chapbook by Agent Lutz. I think that's the guy who did the actual cat drawing. Same guy, because this is the same art styling of his. But I mean, no one really expected anything truly amazing. This is a cool little postcard, and it looks like it's prepaid too. It says, you are destined to experience most things bewildered and alone. That's nice. Cool postcard. Oh, lovely. I've received a fart bomb. Krista Goose says, could be a new shirt fabric print for you. Yeah, I could. That's an absolutely wild design. Speaking of merchandise, guys, I forgot to mention this earlier. We're doing a merch giveaway. Let me go full screen real quick. Those of you who didn't watch the first half of that interview, we actually have merchandise now. By we, I mean I, took the time to design the vectors and the PNGs, upload them into GIMP, get them formatted correctly, upload them to my Amazon merch account, and now we have merchandise available. We're going to be giving this away. It's going to be a pretty straightforward contest, and this is brand new. It still has the production tag on it, but we have this beautiful, beautiful Bolorama hoodie. It's a nice hoodie. And it's super nice cottony fleece on the inside. If you want to get one of these, you can visit our Amazon merch. We're going to have the information in the description. I didn't have the time to put it in there right now, but it has the lovely Bolorama logo, our newest logo. And then check this out. Check this out. You don't have to get it with this on the back. It's completely optional, but it says, if you don't make that money, someone else will. So yeah, this is pretty sweet. And the material, like I said, it's a really, really nice quality material on the inside. It's got that brushed fleece action going on. So if you're interested in getting one of these, okay, we're going to be giving away, I think we're going to be giving away one of these, and then we have another giveaway we're going to be doing later, and we're probably going to give away some stuff from this box too. If you're interested in getting one of these, you have to come back after the show. It doesn't necessarily have to be today, but you have to leave a comment on this video. The live comments don't count. You have to leave one after the video is ended, and then those comments, what we'll do is we'll use a comment randomizer live on air next week, and we'll select a random person to win one of these, and then we're also going to have another giveaway. But yeah, definitely check this out. If you're interested in one of these, I think the hoodies are $14, okay, or $40, excuse me. And then we have basic t-shirts available right now. Pam, I don't know if you can fish up the link from the admin chat and throw it into the comments right now. But we also have basic t-shirts. I believe they're only $14, and that's the 13 or 14. It was the absolute cheapest price that we could do. We only make 25 cents on each one of those shirts that we sell. That's the rock bottom price that you can get them for. So $14 if you want to rock a Bolorama shirt and have something cool to wear, especially if you're going to be going to do some thrifting, maybe run into a fellow Bolorama fan. Okay, and once we get those, a little bit more velocity on those, we'll start giving those away every single week, because I want to see tons of you guys out there rocking the new merch that we got going. But yeah, you'll get an opportunity to get that one. What else do we got in this box? Lovely, lovely, exactly what I've been looking for. It is a silent bell. Great. It says, as comes December, so do the holidays. And at the holidays, who doesn't love a good bell? They're beautiful and shiny. They are everything we want in a winter celebration. However, we all hate the horrible, sinful sound that they make. Therefore, we at Oddbox have taken the liberty of removing the devil's noisemaker from this bell, rendering it silently impotent. Do with it as you please, safe in the knowledge that your ears will not be tainted by its original cacophonous filth. Lovely. It's a silent bell. Exactly what I needed. And then the piece de resistance, there's one more piece in there. Oh, let's do this last one first, then we'll take a look at the shirt. This appears to be a stick-on mustache inside of a tube. Interesting. And no, I will not put that on because I have a whole rest of my show to do. So I'm curious what this particularly odd box shirt is. Oh, man. So we're going to be giving away another shirt today. Here, I'm gonna have to give me 1 second. I have to censor part of the shirt. Let's just put the sticker right there. Okay, so we have another shirt up for grabs. What a cool shirt that is, huh? So if anyone is interested in rocking this one, it's a really high quality shirt. That's what's a little frustrating, but I don't think I would wear this in public. But if you're interested in this, it's a really high quality shirt, and it's an interesting design. So thank you to the good people of Oddbox for sending this out. We do appreciate it. This was an unsponsored segment. We didn't receive any revenue or anything like that for them sending that out. We just thought it would be something fun to do with them. While I'm at it, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and talk about, we had another item come in. This one's a little bit heavy. We were supposed to shoot an interview or discussion with these people. This is from the good people over at PuriTest, Puritest, and this is what I was talking to you about. If you want to see the full graph, just take a guess. Take a guess on what letters are missing there. But yeah, we'll do a giveaway for that shirt too. We'll randomize it. Just leave in the comments which item you would like to win. I think that's what we'll do. But the good people at PuriTest, we ran into them after one of our lovely patrons had made a video regarding gold and silver and platinum testing, which is something that if you're a thrifter, I mean, how often have you seen a piece and just said, yeah, I don't know if it's real, so I don't even want to buy it. Okay, so we reached out to them because I really like their web presence. I like their eBay ad and everything. And I said, and also it looked like a brand that could use just a little bit of help. I could maybe help them with their graphics and do something with them, help them with marketing in some way in exchange to be able to get some stuff for you guys. And I want to let you know, we turned down an opportunity to generate good revenue, great, potentially hundreds of dollars. We wanted to get kits into the hands of people who needed them. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving out, for right now, we're going to be giving one out to a viewer, and we're going to be giving one out to a patron. And we're going to have more available over the next 4 to 5 weeks. This, again, is an unpaid offer. We're simply doing this so that way we can help you guys out. We just want to be able to make sure that when opportunities come your direction, you're able to take advantage of them. So I told her that I would crack it open on air, and then we're going to have her on the channel here soon. Very, very soon, probably this week. And she's going to walk me through, I guess, how to use this kit, because this kit comes with tools that I haven't seen before, like testing tools. I saw some scrapers in there that have, gold and such on the back end of them. So, okay, it says, stop. If you're not 100% satisfied with your purchase, please contact us back, and it has direct contact information, which is always good. We're probably going to hold on to that. And we got a bunch of things that we're going to be opening today. Now, guys, I do want to preface this. Anytime you are working with metal and metal testing chemicals, it's important to remember there's some very, very strong acids and very, very strong bases. So if anything looks like it's out of the packaging, looks like you have a leak, if you have any issue like that, proceed with caution, gloves up and everything. So I'm just going to be opening carefully and seeing what we got in here. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I wasn't expecting so much stuff. Holy cow. Looks like we got some Looks like we got some sample metals here. I wasn't expecting that at all. Looks like we have some gold samples, silver samples. Looks like we have a platinum sample as well on top here. That was really, really nice of them to send those out. Looks like there's 6 different sample pieces here. Holy cow. Huh. Nice on them. I'm sure the larger ones are probably plated, but that's going to be all you need to really get the job done. Wow. Oh, man, God, she sent me everything. Guys, I got extra stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. I got more stuff than I need, it looks like. So I've got stuff here that we're going to be giving away as well. We have diamond weight estimators. Oh, that's so good to have. This is the type of stuff that I wouldn't say, like every single reseller should have this stuff. But if you're that type of reseller where you feel very versed on a whole bunch of different categories already, and you haven't taken the dive into jewelry and you're just looking for that next step of diversification, or if you are somebody who's dabbling in jewelry and maybe you don't have a good kit, we have all of the different solutions. Wow, she sent me so much stuff. I was not expecting this. But yeah, oh, thank you so much. Pam just put up a link for the merch if anyone wants to check that out. But yeah, she sent over a bunch of these chemicals. And I say she, her name is Ashley. She's the owner of this company. And I always love being able to work directly with business owners. The Odd Box, the gentleman who runs that, just being able to communicate with them directly. Same thing with Ashley here over at Pure Test. It's just been great working with them. Oh man, that's great. We got some Digis, high performance, high sensitivity scales. She actually sent me 2 of these. I do not need 2. We're gonna come up with a giveaway. We'll probably do a giveaway on our Instagram, and we'll probably do a giveaway on our maybe our sister page, maybe the Bolo Mercari. We'll do some stuff there. Oh, a diamond tester. I actually got 2 of them. Holy cow. 2 diamond testers. That's fantastic. If you guys need a diamond tester, let me know. And then we have what looks like some testing stones. They're a little bit smaller. I didn't know that they made them this small. I've only seen the larger ones before. That's great to have. Oh, nice. We got a magnifier, or a jeweler's eye, as I've known them as. And then we actually got 2 of those. It looks like we have something down here at the bottom. Nice. We got 2 of the 10-piece file kits. How lovely is that? Looks like so we have an entire extra kit here. So after we do our shoot, I'll tell you what, we'll probably have the giveaway set up after we do that shoot. I do want to stress this, guys. Okay, not all companies are the same. And I reached out to Puritest, and again, that's spelled Puritest. You can get a basic kit for $20 on their Amazon right now. Okay, it's a really nice deal, really good product. But I do want to state this as well. I looked at their reviews and I said, hey, what's going on with your reviews? What's happening here? And I don't know if you guys know this. We've talked before about ASIN hijacking, where another company will use the same ASIN and try and sell under that ASIN, but deliver a different product. And they have all of this is all trademark. Puremark is his own trademark, or Puretest, excuse me. It's all trademark. So people are hijacking that. I got her paired up. I don't know if you guys remember Leslie Hensel with Riverbend Consulting. I told her to speak with her. They're going to try and get that cleared up. So if you go look up Puritest on Amazon right now, they have a basic kit for about $20. And I believe this one's probably going to be a little bit closer to about 40, 50, maybe even $60 or something like this. But if you see some bad reviews, just remember they're not receiving this actual product. There's no spilling. There was no issues or anything like that. So I'm very, very impressed with this quality. And again, we are not getting paid at all to talk about them. We just said, hey, we want to get some really cool stuff for the people who watch the show. Like I said, we're moving away from any type of affiliate, any type of sponsorship deals. We just want to pass along great stuff to you guys. So stay tuned for that. We are going to shoot a one-on-one interview with Ashley of Puritest moving forward. CatCon says, I need a diamond tester. I want the whole kit. Yeah, we've actually... and I'm not supposed to go big into detail on this. We're working something out with Ashley specifically for our patrons right now. So if you are a patron, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get one of these kits at no cost. But that's something that we're still sorting out directly with the company right now. And Chris is saying he hasn't seen the reviews, but there could be issues with user error. And that's definitely one of the things when it comes to any type of testing that requires a high level of user accountability and accuracy. Yeah, you're going to see that. And also, when it comes to reviews, people don't understand that there's like a 90% chance of somebody being more likely to leave a bad review opposed to a positive one if they had a neutral experience. It's just interesting. What else do we got going on for today? We did the odd box thing. What's next on the docket? Let's take a look. Small stories and developing news. Guys, we had some other stuff happen this week. I didn't take extensive notes because I don't want to go big into it. Did you guys hear about that FedEx driver who had to shoot somebody? Somebody dove inside of his truck, held him at hostage, tried to steal a whole bunch of packages. As he was leaving, he shot him in the gut, and then the driver pulled out his gun and started firing back. We got the whole story on our Bolorama page. Definitely worth checking out. And then another thing, I'm only going to touch on it briefly because it feels almost nonsensical to speak on this, but Amazon fees are going up again. So if you have stuff in storage, it's time to take a look at it. And then also, Amazon is working to try and create more space for brand new listings right now. So if you have items or you're looking to work into a category that doesn't have listings, or let's say you have an item that's maybe even private label and you want to create a fresh listing from that, they're offering credits to where you can get up to 500 listings in, out, and handled and held there at almost no cost. They're saying reduced inbound shipping, no storage fees, no removal fees if you're willing to try a new listing, but there is caps to the amount that you can do. Definitely look over your email if you're an Amazon FBA seller for more information on that one. What else do we got for the week? Guys, mail call. I got some packages that I'm going to be opening up right now, sent in from you guys, which are awesome. Welcome to you, Lee James. Good to see you here. I said hello to you in the top of the hour before you even showed up. Simply Dana says, I'm so slow. She's catching up. Poor thing. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's take a look at some packages, see what we got. And if you haven't done so, guys, check out the Bolorama. I'm telling you, value over time. If you're not within the Patreon, you're really missing out. Guys, first one is from Pam. And I want to give kudos to Pam. One, she has this really cute Mercari label that directs people back to the brand new Bolo Mercari page. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And she has these really cute thank you poly bag. I don't know if they're custom made or she ordered in this way, but they're really, really nice. So definitely check that out. Lee James says, thank you, Jay. Pleasure being here. Pleasure having you, bud. I hope you make it out to eBay Open this year. You're another one of the people that I would love to meet out there because we're going to have a really, really great time. But thank you, Pam, for sending me this lovely package. Let's crack it open. I have no clue what's inside of any of these. Oh, she sent me a complimentary bubble USPS padded bubble mailer. So nice. Did you cut the adhesive off? Oh, okay, it's folded in. We have a lovely card and it has something in there. It got super crushed though. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It got wafered. Yeah, I'm gonna open the card first, and then there's some type of glass piece that she included as well. Says, for every kindness you've shown this year and every bit of happiness you've given others. Oh, well, thank you. Let's see what we got on the inside. Oh, I love it. I love it. We got a laser cut coaster that says cheers. I'm totally going to use this. That is awesome. Those of you who don't know, I love practical gifts that have like that little itty bitty, like this is not just for anyone, like this is for you. I love this. This is going right on my desk. I'm going to put my coffee on this right now. There we go. Thank you for that. So mindful. This is a big, bright, shining wish for a very Merry Christmas. Oh, and then a little note from her there at the end. Thank you so much, Pam. I really appreciate that. I'm going to take a look at the other. I can kind of see it through the plastic already. It appears to be some type of acrylic, possibly a paperweight. This is definitely... Oh God, this is so cool. What is this? It is the shrinking dollar in acrylics. And, oh, that is so cool. Look at that. Pam, you outdid yourself. 2 interesting items. That is probably the neatest thing I've ever seen done with a dollar bill. Really, really cool. Thank you so much, Pam. I really like those. I really appreciate it. It's very neat. Yeah, that's definitely going to go on the shelf of interesting. I'm going to be redesigning that over the next 2-week break that I got. So I'm going to be doing that. Thank you so much. And then Taco Stacks in the house. How you doing, buddy? Send me a message on Insta. Let's do something together sometime. Happy to have you. But yes, hello to everyone. We got another one. This one is from Future Fortunes in the comments, another patron, supporter, longtime fan of the show. Me and him, we send packages back and forth to each other all the time. This one just happens to be a Christmas one. He told me that there's something in here from him, something in here from his mother. He gave me a little bit of context beforehand, but I haven't exactly been able to deduce exactly what's in here. I think this is our last package for today, too. And then, guys, we have a really, really awesome video coming up right after this. Okay, we're going to be premiering our bulk buying training video. Get a pen and paper if you don't have one yet. I promise you, you're going to learn something. That's cool. We have a vegan chocolate bar from the Chocolate Chisel. It says chocolate mash, sugar, cocoa powder, soy lecithin, and natural vanilla. Yes, the reason is my beautiful girlfriend is vegan, so I think that's why he snagged this one for me. This 100% is going to get eaten, so thank you so much for sending this in. I'm sure she will appreciate this greatly. And those of you who don't know, I'm not vegan myself, but I do eat a lot of vegan food because anytime I'm with her, I just eat vegan because I'm not like an animal who's like constantly craving meat. But if I do come across it, then I'll eat it. He also wanted me to know that he is very close to a Harley Davidson location, so he's included some Harley items. That's kind of cool. It's while we're here, we're going to just give that little lesson, like on these shifting panels. They are not holograms. This is called lenticular. So very cool. And it's from the Harley Davidson Museum. We'll find a home for this as well. Thank you for that. And then a little note here. Said, thanks for everything you do and all the help. AKA Future Fortunes. You're very welcome, buddy. I'm happy to work with you. I think there's some confusion for some people who, I don't know, people who are new and coming around. I don't think they understand like the entire process of what we do. It really is about helping other people. Oh, that's cool. Have a drink on me. It's a $10 Starbucks gift card. This will get used. I appreciate it. It's a really cute card too. It's actually the actual cup is the gift card itself. So I don't want to flash that too long. I don't want somebody stealing the magical numbers off the back, but that's going to get used. Thank you so much for that, buddy. And then, said, I just had to send this. I don't think you will ever see another one. And then I can't read the bit. See another. It says, I think it says mink ad. But we'll figure it out. I know what playing cards sound like. Too many years of thrifting, and I absolutely love playing cards. Campbell and Co. is the brand on the back. Oh, what is this? Oh, it says how to enjoy playing cribbage. Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool. We have some instructions here on the interior, and then it looks like there's a stack of cards on the inside. Really nice finish on this cribbage set. I'm going to tip these cards out real quick. Very cool. Oh, and there's some cribbage pins here on the edge. Oh, they are teeny tiny. I don't want to lose these, so I'm just going to pull one out for you guys. Really tiny cribbage pins. Very, very cool. And then a very, very nice set of cards. I always like to show off the jokers. Those are so cool. And it looks like a little mink there on the back. Very nice set of cards. Thank you so much for that. I would do a little riffle cut, but I don't want to damage these cards. Very, very cool. So those of you who don't know, I am semi-proficient in Magic and Sleight of Hand. I don't think this is a... Oh, nope, there it is. Oh, beautiful ace. You always got to stop and look at the ace of spades. Very nice. Future Fortune says, frozen mink food yum. That is quite an interesting thing. Very cool. Thank you for that. And I think there's a couple more small things in here. Let's take a peek at those. And thank you again. Another small item here. No writing on this one. It's very heavy. Oh, that's cool. Oh, it says paperweight that my mom made. Tell your mother I said thank you. I really appreciate that. And this will get a home as well. I really do like that. Yeah, we're going to put that right here on the desk. And as soon as I have some papers to weigh, you better believe that thing's going to get used. And then we got one more right here. Ah, very nice. Some Harley Davidson historical playing cards. I'm going to leave that one in the shrink right now, just because we're running a little tight on time. But when I crack this open, I definitely will let you know. Thank you so much to you, buddy, for sending that out. I really do appreciate that. Anyone who sends stuff in, it's truly appreciated. It just makes everything for more of a more unique experience. And I do hope that I get to see you too out there at eBay Open this year. I do want to meet with as many of you as possible, and we're going to make it a very, very fun experience for everyone who does come. I want to let you know too, we are speaking with a handful of brands about the possibility of them sponsoring a handful of us to come out there. So we might even be doing an eBay Open giveaway to be able to cover the cost of somebody else coming out this year, if that goes through. If it doesn't, then we're going to do the same thing that we did this last year, do a little fundraising, yada, 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 and make a great trip of it. But that's neither here nor there right now. Thank you so much, guys, for sending in those very, very cool things. What else do we got? Full circle. Let's go ahead and who wants to check out that big new bulk buying training video that I made? If you haven't done so yet, grab a pen and paper. There's going to be a lot of little things to learn along the way. This video runs 27 minutes, and then we're going to wrap up after that. We're going to have a little chit chat after we get back, but I think it's a good video. That's just, don't take my word for it, but I think it's a solid video to watch. Let's go ahead and check it out. Today we're going to talk about how you can find and execute a bulk buy and add hundreds of dollars of revenue to your income each and every month. Hello again, my name is Jay Kraft with the Facebook group Bowler Around Pickers Lounge, and today we're going to be talking about bulk buys. We're going to talk about some of the things that you need to know to help mitigate your risk, as well as little tips that you can do to increase your margins along the way. Now, if you haven't seen our previous training videos, I strongly suggest you go check those out, as well as sign up for our Facebook community group, and also subscribe to our channel so you can catch future releases of upcoming training videos as well. Now, this is a very, very lengthy topic. I have many pages of information that we're going to be covering today, and yeah, I'll be looking at it because it's a lot to go through. But the basics are pretty simple. Whether you're spending $100, $1,000, or $10,000 on a buy, you're looking to buy your inventory and sell it for a profit. Simple as that. However, the devil is in the details, and today we're going to be covering some of those details. In this video, we're going to be covering a wide range of topics that you should know before executing on a bulk buy. Everything from risk management to recovering from a bad buy. Today, as you can see, I'm standing in a room full of Funko Pops. I purchased this lot for about $4,300, and we're about $4,900 back so far. Sounds nice, right? But unfortunately, there was a lot of work that went into this, and I did actually make quite a few mistakes along the way. Everything from an eroding market to wallet fatigue, as well as time management. But before we get into the issues that I encountered with this buy behind me, let's go ahead and talk about what a bulk buy actually is and how you can go about finding one. A bulk purchase is generally when you're buying goods in quantity, whether it be of the same character family or the same theme. You're usually getting a large amount of goods for a discounted price based on the volume that you're buying. For example, you could be buying 500 spark plugs of all of the same type, or you could be getting 500 spark plugs that are all different varieties, or you could be getting 500 car parts. Whether they fall in the same theme or not, it really doesn't matter, but the way that you evaluate these buys really does. Whether you're taking 500 of one item or 500 different items, you're going to have to look at each buy individually. A bulk buy opportunity can crop up almost anywhere or even be nudged into existence as well. Whether you're at a swap meet when somebody throws in the towel and they don't want to do it anymore, or if you're out at an estate sale and you overhear somebody say, "I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff after the yard sale ends today." These opportunities present themselves more often than you realize. You just have to take advantage of them. As far as nudging one into existence, I can think back to a time when I saw a sealed video game on eBay, and it seemed a bit of an anomaly for a new seller to have such a valuable game. It was a $1,000 copy of Jetsons. Sealed at the time, that's what it was going for. I went ahead and messaged the seller and asked them, "Hey, do you happen to have anything else? Do you happen to have more stuff? I couldn't help but notice that your account was new." We actually started a dialogue. I completed the purchase on that one, and we followed up more afterwards and learned This person had had an entire video game store worth of inventory that had closed down in the mid-90s. I ended up spending nearly 15 grand doing a bulk buy, and I'll be honest with you, I made almost $80,000 on that one buy alone. I'm not saying go out and message every single person that has a sealed video game for sale, but what I am saying is when you see an opportunity form itself in front of you, I suggest that you jump after it and you try and make something like this happen for yourself. And if you're thinking to yourself, honestly, Jay, those opportunities don't happen for me, well, let me ask, are you going on OfferUp? Are you going on Craigslist? Are you going on Facebook Marketplace? Are you looking in the newspaper when you see businesses that are closing down and making outbound phone calls to try and buy up inventory? And lastly, are you running ads online, letting people know, I buy goods in quantity? And there's plenty of places to post free ads online, and it's not always going to work, but if you can get 1 or 2 calls a year, this purchase right here was an inbound phone call, and I'll even provide the ad for you if you want to use it yourself. But if you're not putting yourself out there to be able to take advantage of bulk buy opportunities, well, they're simply not going to happen for you then. Like I said, with this one right here, we stand to profit nearly $5,000, and it would not have happened if I hadn't been proactive and ran ads online and communicated with people who are looking to sell. Now, for this section, I'm going to stick to the script because it's very important that we understand risk properly. Now that you have a better idea of how the bulk buying works, we need to talk about risk. How much money do you actually have to spend on a bulk buy? If you're looking at this video right now and you say, I don't even have $100 to execute on a bulk buy, well, it's probably not the right time for you then. You may want to continue working on reselling and building up your inventory and building up your daily cash revenue that you have coming in or your weekly totals. And once you have a little bit more play money and you're not waiting on that money each week and you don't have a family that depends on every single dollar that comes in, you have investable money, then it's the time to start looking at doing bulk buying when you have that financial freedom to be able to execute on volume. When we talk about elements within our show, we talk about value over time, and a bulk buy is a value over time opportunity. I have probably somewhere in the area of about 15 or 20 items on eBay currently that I bought either 50, 100, 250 or more units of a very specific item. It pays for itself over time. The efficiencies that comes from knowing where the item is and being able to box it up and get it out the door and get paid over and over and over without having to relist is incredibly valuable to me. But it all starts by making your first bulk buy. So we need to ask ourselves, how much money are you willing to put out when an opportunity presents itself to you? And are you willing to finance that money to be able to make it happen? Do people around you depend on your income, and is that a risk that you're willing to take? If you feel that executing on a bulk buy will negatively impact other parts of your life, again, it is not the right time for you to be doing this. Before you even get started doing a bulk buy, it's very important that you have the fundamentals of reselling established. You understand how to run listings. You understand how to appropriately price and value an item. You understand how to most efficiently and cheaply do your pack and ship operations. You have all of these things in place for your success. Then when you pull the trigger on this, you're not going to be bogged down by those problems because this is your first experience, your first foray into reselling. Now, if you do stumble across a buy that seems like it might be a good one, but it might displace you just a bit, look into some creative solutions to be able to execute on that buy still. Whether it means splitting that buy with somebody else, maybe you decide to go 50-50 or you even go thirds with a couple other people, or whether it means working with the seller to try and take half the inventory now and maybe pay a premium, start moving those units, and then take the other half of the inventory later. Most sellers are going to be very accommodating if at the end of the day you're willing to pay a very good price, whether it be once or twice or sometimes even 3-4 times to be able to cover the cost of a buy. But I'll tell you, you're always going to get the best deal if you have 100% of the money up front and you understand the market and you understand how to negotiate with your seller. Now, when it comes to mitigating risk, it's important that you understand a handful of factors, and one of them is the market. The market refers, for me, to who you are able to sell to, your entire reach of consumers. Now, if you're an online seller and you're doing eBay, you pretty much have a global reach, but it's important to take advantage of your local reach as well. We're talking about things like swap meets, online ads, setting up a couple of shelves in your house if you're zoned for it and you feel like taking on that level of additional work, your entire warm market as well, not to mention doing conventions, antique booths, wherever you might go to be able to move some of your inventory. Understanding your market is very, very important. What are the habits of this market? What are consumers spending on these items right now? Whatever the item might be, it's very important that you understand the amount of buying power that your market has based on historical sales. How does one understand the market, though? Well, we have to look at a few factors. Mainly, we're going to be looking online. We're looking at how many units are available today and how frequently are the units actually selling through online. These two numbers together are going to give us a good idea of what we might be able to get away with the item that we have. And we'll have an example for you here in a second. On top of that, we really want to run the numbers appropriately. Let's say, for instance, we have a pop here. Okay, this unit might sell online for about $15, but we have to pay eBay $1.50 on that unit, and then we also have to pay for our box, which might be about another 10-15 cents. We also have our base cost, what we paid for it, which is about $2.75 per piece, or a pop. And then we also have other associative costs that get tied up into that as well. So when we factor how much we're going to make, we also have to knock out shipping too. You might have a $15 sale, but you may only make about $6 on it. So if the person that you're working with is looking to get $7 a unit, or heck, let's say they're even looking to get $4 a unit, is $2 a piece going to be worth it to you? Sometimes it might be. Let's say you're selling 100 of these units per week and you get to make an extra $200 and they're very quick and very easy to pack up and ship out. It might be worth it to you. And for others, it simply might not be. But we have to see if the market's able to absorb that level of inventory. For example, widgets are currently being offered for you at $3 each. And at a quantity of 1,000, your current unnegotiated buy rate is $3,000. A quick look at the market shows that widgets are selling between $20 and $26 at a rate of about 20 units per month. At this current pace, it would take about 4 years to sell through your inventory without competition. With a profit of $18 each per widget after fees, shipping, and tax, it will take approximately 9 months before you break even on this buy. This doesn't take into account changes within the market, changes within consumer habits. You can't necessarily tell if a better form of the widget is going to be released a month after you buy it. There's so many factors that you have to take into account. Again, we're talking about mitigating risk here. No one wants to get stuck with a ton of inventory. I'll be honest with you, when I started selling these, I had that same worry as well. I got about a quarter of the way through the inventory and I said, man, there's a lot of stuff here and it's going to take a long time to make that money back. Determining how much time it's going to take to get your money back, as well as how long it's going to take to get the profit that you are expecting, is vital to know before you execute on a bulk buy. You should never be guessing. You should never be spitballing in the dark. The only exception is if you're getting something for absolutely pennies on the dollar, and the amount of money that you're putting out there, you would just as easily give away to somebody. So if you can buy $100 worth of inventory with a potential $10,000 return, that we're not going to worry about. But when we're talking about spending $3,000 to make $10,000, $5,000 to make $20,000, understanding how long it will take just to get your money back, and then how long it'll take to get all of your investment back is very important. While we're on the topic of time, it's a great time to talk about associative cost. When you think about buying in bulk, you have to consider your associative cost. We're talking about things like shelving. We have about $200 worth here. Price tags, about $10. And a marketing budget if you plan on advertising online. But one of the biggest overlooked associative costs that most people just don't take the time to talk about is time. You can spend quite a bit of time working on your sale if you don't account for certain factors. It goes without saying that we're going to want to utilize every sales funnel we have at our disposal to be able to generate our revenue, whether that be Craigslist, OfferUp, Marketplace, or more. But all of these things take time. And when you're working in this type of capacity with this amount of inventory, it's very important that you factor your time cost. With this buy, I plan to walk away with excess of at least $5,000 on it. However, I expect anywhere between 50 to 60 labor hours just to get this job done. Now, at the end of the day, though, I will be earning on average about $80 to $100 an hour for my time. Fantastic, right? Well, in this instance, yes, but I see quite a lot of buys that don't turn out this well. I'll see people walk away with a maybe $300-400 profit on something, but they'll end up spending anywhere between 40 to 50 hours working on that project and earning less than minimum wage, but still patting themselves on the back. When doing your buy, you have to consider how many hours it's going to take to get the work done. $1,000 profit is great, but it's not great if it's going to take you 100 hours to get that work done. Now, I know you're saying $10 an hour is fine, and sure it is for most, but within the world of reselling, if you're not earning $25, $50, or $100 an hour for what you're doing, frankly, you're doing something wrong, and we will leave that money behind when it presents itself to us. There's just better ways to earn revenue, and you want to start thinking about bulk buys in that capacity. This buy itself took about 6 hours just to be able to get everything over here to the house. Once it was here, it took about 6 hours to clean, and that was with 2 people. It took 6 hours to clean and sort and tag, and then probably about another 2 to 4 hours to build the shelves and get everything placed up. The biggest time sink of them all, beyond the advertising and the placement and everything, is the amount of time it takes to book appointments and wait here while people do their browsing and shopping. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, we've done nearly $5,000 in volume just locally selling these pops out, and we could probably do another $5,000 local without having to move all kinds of inventory online, but it is a time sink. Whenever I have somebody down here, I'll bring my iPad with me, and I can do listings while I'm watching them shop and browse, and I try and get a little more value out of my time so it's not just going to waste. Same thing when you're meeting up with clients to sell things local. Try and bring value to your time so you're not throwing that time away and losing more money out of your investment. Now, I myself have years of experience selling direct to consumer. I used to own a video game store myself. Now, you don't have to do this method. This is just what we're talking about with this buy. You can even say outright, I do not want to sell direct to consumer. I only want to sell online. And I've met many of you that way who say, I will not meet with somebody face to face. It makes me uncomfortable. That is fine. This entire buy could have been placed online. But I will say this. Not only would I have lost thousands of dollars in fees and associative shipping costs, I also would have probably lost about another 100 labor hours. And at about $25 an hour, there's another $2,500 right off the top. So we can take a buy that cost me $4,300 originally, plus another $200 of base associative costs. We have $4,500 in. Now if we start throwing more and more expenses to it, our margins have become about that big. I like making a 50% margin. I like making a 150% margin. It's important to understand your exit strategy with your inventory when you buy it and understand the amount of time and other associative costs that you can incur while selling inventory. Now, understanding this time and taking the effort to prepare yourself while working with a seller is actually pretty valuable. I understand it can be frustrating to have to sit back and assess the market and take a closer look at condition and recount inventory, but knowing your expected time cost is huge. When I did the video game store buy, I knew what I was getting into. I understood how much money I was going to make. But the people that I was working with, they had no clue what it would take to sell 2,000 pieces online. I very briefly explained to them, you see all those listings online? For your type of item that offer free shipping, your video games are going to cost at a minimum $4 each to send out. You have 2,000 video games, you're looking at $8,000 in shipping cost. That was wild to them, the thought that they would have to spend that amount of money on shipping. I said, you're also not considering your material cost. You probably have about $1,000 in boxes and tapes and bubble wrap and everything else that's going to be tied up with that too. And to list 2,000 items for brand new sellers, you're probably looking at close to, 100 to 200 hours, not only for the listing, but the pack and ship, follow-up customer care. Brand new sellers are going to have a higher return rate as well because they don't accurately describe their items. These are all associative costs. And you can share these associative costs with the people who are selling you the items. You can say, you are going to have to spend close to $15,000 worth of material and labor to be able to move this inventory. Now, why am I willing to do that? Well, I have the infrastructure set up for it already. I have an established eBay store. I have a pack and ship station. I have a photo station. I've done most of the hard work. That being said, use this to your advantage. Talk with your seller. Get a reduced rate. If they have so much inventory that you're going to have to rent a storage unit, for instance, go back to them and say, hey, it's going to cost me $100 a month to hold this inventory, and I think it's going to take me about 2 years to be able to sell it. I'd like to negotiate $2,400 off your asking price. Now, if it's a buy for $10,000 and you can make a $30,000 profit on top, obviously don't talk yourself out of a deal. But don't leave money on the table. When it comes to doing bulk buys, a dollar saved is truly a dollar earned. When this offer came to me initially, they wanted $6,000 for it. I negotiated it down to $4,000. And then when I showed up on site, we had another $300 worth of buy and then $200 worth of shelves. I made $1,500 the day that I bought this inventory because I successfully negotiated the pricing down. Now, if you're horrible with negotiations and you would like our assistance to evaluate a buy, information again is down in the description. We have a brand new website you can get in touch with us at. We can evaluate a buy on your behalf as part of our consulting program, and if need be, we will be happy to speak with the seller and negotiate a better rate on your behalf, of course, at a small cost. Now, this isn't a discussion about negotiation, so let's go ahead and get back on topic. I want to share with you some of the other associative costs that you might not be thinking about. We're talking about things like storage fees, listing and selling fees, taxes on your sales, time cost, the cost of additional labor if you have employees working with you and helping you through the process, whether you're buying them dinners or you're having to pick them up. You have your gas costs, you have your actual labor costs, tax costs on those employees, the maintenance equipment and tools that you might need to repair if you have to get specialty equipment to be able to work on some of the inventory that you're buying, shipping supplies, shelves, labeling, time that you have to invest into education. Let's say you're working on a category you don't know well and you have to spend 10 hours to understand the category better, or you have to pay experts to be able to talk with them about a category. Let's say you have to talk with auction houses, or you're going to be selling the items through an auction house and you have your associative fees there as well. Just be mindful of the hidden cost, because you can have a large buy like this and sit back and say, I'm going to make a fortune, and then before you know it, it turns into a large loss. Not just a loss of your money, but a loss of your time as well. As we start to wrap up this video, it's important that we take one last time to talk about not taking a risk. It's important that you do not bet the barn whenever you're doing a bulk buy. And I know I've said this a few times already, but I've seen it more times than you can imagine. People overextend on what they see as being either like the hot holiday toy, and they'll go spend thousands on it and then they're just trying to recoup some of their money, or they'll go after something that seems too good to be true and they'll chase down this sale. Remember, there's a reason why someone is bulk selling. There always is. Nobody wakes up one day and says, I want to give away thousands of dollars. Okay? There's always something that's happening. It's either going to be that they don't have the time to sell it, they don't have the means to sell it, they don't have the desire to do sales anymore, whatever it might be. But if they are failing to sell an item that they've already purchased with the intent for profit, you have to ask yourself, why are you going to do better than the last person who was working with the item? And if you can't answer that question, don't make the buy. Simple as that. And again, consult with people before you execute on a buy. Doesn't matter if it's me or if it's someone else, but talk with an expert. Don't ask family members who have no experience in reselling, or talk with family members who have never owned a business or never done bulk buying before. You want to speak with experts on stuff like this, people who have experience within e-commerce. Don't be afraid to run a post to either our group or another and say, hey, how does this opportunity look? Does it seem like something I can make money on? But if it's a large buy and you're going to be dealing with tens of thousands of dollars, certainly speak with an expert. Or even if a large buy is a couple $100s to you, which I remember the days when it was for me, a couple $100s can be everything for you. You want to make sure you execute on those deals correctly. So now that we've finished explaining some of the core fundamentals of bulk buying, and you're still here to this point in the video, I want to explain to you where I went wrong with this buy, with all of these pops around me. I made some fundamental mistakes when I made this purchase, and one of them was the expectation that this inventory was going to be gone in 30 days. Well, the reality is that just simply did not happen. We're about 60 days in right now. Now, minus the 10 days that I was horrifyingly sick right after I had acquired this inventory, I made some other key errors along the way. One, I misevaluated the market. What does that mean? Well, I looked at this inventory and I thought for sure the market is hot and hungry for this inventory. I'll be able to blow this stuff off the shelves, no issue. Where did I get that idea from? Well, I had gone to a convention the previous week and I had actually worked a booth where I was selling pops, and these things were flying off the shelves. It was the very next Monday that somebody contacted me looking to do a bulk sale. So I was already in the mindset of these things are selling like hotcakes, and I just assumed that I wouldn't have a problem getting these things to fly out outside of a convention setting. This wasn't true at all. It required a lot more marketing and advertising than I had realized to be able to get interested buyers to come in here and buy. On top of that, a lot of the people I spoke with were looking for one single toy. Now, the Funko Pop lineup is somewhere between 10 and 20,000 different pieces, and it's gotten to the point now where I just send automated messages back. It says, hey, we can't guarantee we'll have that one. You're welcome to come by and look. If there's a specific one you're looking for, though, we suggest eBay. And I know that sounds short, but when it comes to working with Pops, it truly is a number game. The quicker I can get people in and out, get them the stuff that they're looking for, offer a great customer service experience, and then move on to the next person, the better. On top of that, I misjudged a couple of other things, and I know most people could look at the situation and say, Jay, it's not your fault, you got that wrong, but this is a great thing to be aware of, be cognizant of when working with a collectible type industry. When I had purchased these, it was about a month before New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con, and on top of that, to compound the problem even further, a brand new Funko store just opened up in LA, and this was a month before the store opened up. I had gathered all this inventory. What ended up happening was collectors said, we don't want to buy any of your stuff. We want to wait for all the new stuff to come out. They didn't know what exclusives were going to be coming, so they held tight to their wallets. There's also a thing in the market we call wallet fatigue. It basically means when a collector only has so much money to spend. Spending more than that, you have large print runs. Look about Star Wars, for instance. They're $10 each. They printed over 500 different ones. So if you wanted to buy all of them, it's going to cost you $5,000 to get them all. That's a pretty big hit to most people's wallets, and a lot of people, they want to hold tight to what's going to interest them the most, and they simply don't have any more money to spend, even if they want it. That's what we're seeing happen with Pops right now. I will say this, too. If the same opportunity came to me today to repurchase this buy, the one that I know I'm going to make thousands of dollars on, I would turn away from it. And it's because I believe the Pop market has barely hit that peak, and I believe we're going to start seeing the downturn very soon. And I'm not saying you should run out and sell your Pops, but I'm going to say if you are buying them as an investor, you may want to watch and take a look at the writing on the wall. We're seeing some interesting activity right now. So with all these things that happened, we had to adjust our approach. Rather than trying to sell to the Pop collector like we had been doing historically the first 45 days that we had this item, we re-strategized, and we decided that we are going to try and sell to families, and specifically families. We actually have no interest in working with collectors any longer on these Pop toys, and we only want to work with families. Because families, when they show up, they just want to buy cool toys. They don't care about the condition of the box. They're not going to try and negotiate $2 off a $10 toy. They're not going to try and come at you with some crazy bundle switcheroo. Okay? They just want to buy toys for their family, and honestly, the families will spend $200-300 when they show up. They'll knock out all of their Christmas shopping, and we'll have some collectors spend 30 minutes here, spend $15. And frankly, we actually don't let them come back again. They're one and done, and then they're on their way. It's all a numbers game, and you have to be smart about how you're going to be working local sales. On top of that, we developed some additional sales funnels, and we moved, I would probably say, about 5% of the inventory online, some of the more high-dollar stuff that we knew we didn't need the local assistance to sell. And then we also expanded our sales funnels as far as where we were doing our advertising and marketing. We initially hadn't done anything on OfferUp, and we went ahead and added that in. And then we came up with some new creative ads on the back end onto Craigslist as well. On top of that, we've opened up the door to trades too. So if we have an opportunity to trade our inventory out at a 2x, 3x multiple in the same way that a video game store would, if we could trade our inventory up and out and get into a category that has higher velocity, why not? You know, a very quick interaction can net you an extra couple $100 worth of inventory. So it's another direction that you can go. Staying smart and adaptable with what you're doing when it comes to bulk buying is the best way to protect your investment. Don't be afraid to take a little bit of risk. Okay? It's fine. Sometimes we make mistakes, and sometimes we actually get things right. A little bit of risk is all right, but again, be smart with what you're doing. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I understand that some of these are a little bit long-winded, but we have a lot of stuff to cover. I want to ask you, though, Did you learn something new today? What was your biggest takeaway, and have you ever been part of a bulk buy? Let me know down in the description below, and take a moment while you're down there to like the video, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a family member, whomever. Let a fellow reseller know you've learned a few things about bulk buying. It really helps us out. And also, come on by on Sunday. We do a live news show every Sunday specifically for... The rest of that is just the colorful outro and all of that stuff, telling people to like and subscribe. And if you haven't done so, guys, you really should subscribe to the channel. That is a good thing to do. Helps us out, like the video, all that good stuff. But we're coming down to the closing time now of our Christmas Eve Spec-Tac-Ular. And it's been a great time. I wish I was feeling a little bit better. I wish I wasn't so much under the weather. Guys, we're going to be returning back. It's not going to be this coming Sunday, but it'll probably be the following Sunday. So we're probably looking at about 2 weeks out, give or take. When we do come back, we're going to come back with some more amazing content. We're going to have Ashley from Puritest coming on. We'll probably try and get some live content with a guest on air as well. But if you have something that you would like to see, let us know. Last chance for questions. If anyone has any reselling or just any type of questions that you'd like to ask before we get off air. But before we do, we're going to wrap up with our final thought for the night. And then I'm going to hop off here and try and get some rest and some more medicine. I was literally taking my temperature while the video was playing. And I'm not going to lie to you, I had planned on having a Jack and Coke during this shoot today. And that simply did not happen. I'll be having a Sprite and bread when I'm done here. So guys, last week we talked about the importance of taking a break and investing now to try and get some huge returns on investment later. That's kind of what we wrapped up with. This time, what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about... Yeah, guys, this is a fun one. Firstly, I just want to say enjoy the holidays. I know not everyone here celebrates Christmas, and that's okay. Okay, you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Festivus or whatever you do. And I know there's a handful of you out there who are watching this now because you don't have much family around you, and I'm in that same boat. I will not be seeing any family this holiday season just because that's how life is sometimes, and that's okay. Because we got each other. We got a nice little community here of some great people that we're able to interact with. But it's important during these holidays that you try and avoid things that are going to stress you out. Okay? And I don't know what it is. There's something about the holidays where people are willing to go to such extreme lengths to try and make other people happy. Today, I sold almost $100 worth of pops to last-minute shoppers who were trying to get gifts for people, and they were just like running around with their head cut off. And it just, not only does it boggle my mind that somebody would wait till noon or even 3 o'clock on Christmas Eve to wrap up their Christmas shopping, like that level of poor preparation just absolutely boggles my mind. But the fact that somebody would be willing to stress themselves out so much for somebody else's happiness when the material goods are in really no relation to that person's happiness. And I've had some people ask me, like, what do you want for Christmas? Daniel asked me the other day, and I told him, I'm like, you really don't have to get me anything. I'm like, you can help me with a project or something. Give me like an hour or two of your time, and that'd be great. It's going to help me find the best dash cam I can possibly get. I told him, yeah, just give me like an hour or two of your time, do all the research, save me 2 hours of my life. I'll be a happy camper. That's going to be worth way more to me than anything else you could possibly buy me. Or even, things that are low cost, but they're just mindful. I do like things like that. But knowing that people aren't stressing themselves out in exchange to try and make somebody else happy is important for me. And even, beyond the holidays, I know a lot of people out there, they'll do or go to events or be a part of, things that they don't really want to do in exchange for someone else's happiness. Now, I'm not saying that it's not a good thing or it's not a thoughtful thing to be there for others when they ask of you to be there, but just make sure that the people that you are doing those things for are willing to do them for you too. And I know there's a good handful of you out there that don't always have the best relationships with your family. And when I left my family at 17, I made the personal decision to treat family the same way that I would friends in that same capacity, in the sense that I consider it an optional thing. That if the presence of a person in my life causes me less happiness than if they simply weren't there, then I'll simply no longer have that person in my life. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to forgive, I'm not willing to forget, I'm not willing to put previous transgressions behind me, but just make sure that the people that are in your life, especially the ones that you're going out of your way for, are contributing value and happiness to your life. Remember that the tenure or the length of your friendship or the length of your family bond is in no way a relation to the quality of that connection that you have with them. Same thing with boyfriends, girlfriends, and stuff to that effect. I hear the same thing so many times over. Well, I've been their friend, or I've been with them for 6 years now. I'm like, well, it doesn't change the fact that he might be a piece of shit today. And that's what I have to remind people of. Tenure does not equal quality. Even with your favorite YouTubers, guys, even with me. You might have liked me in the first year that I was making content, but maybe you don't like today, Jay. And that's okay. Go find the Jay that you do like. Go find the content that you do enjoy and socialize with the people that you do enjoy socializing with, and be willing to stick your neck out for those who do stick your neck out for you. And the last little bit on that as well is be mindful of the friends that you might have that constantly need your help, and you're in a position in your life where you don't ever need anyone's help. If you're in one of those positions where you have people that are constantly tapping into your personal resources, just evaluate the value of the relationship subjectively. The biggest changes that I've made this year for myself was thinning out the number of people that I associated with in person and online in order to try and find more calm for myself. It's been magical, absolutely magical. I used to find myself somewhat glued to my phone, who's calling me, who's messaging me. Man, I want to talk to somebody while I'm doing this road trip. I finally hit that lovely, lovely point in life where I learned how to be happy alone. And not in a depressing way either. I enjoy a lot of the simple things that I do now. Just be mindful of how much you're giving to others. Okay, because you can be giving a lot more than you realize, and really you're taking it away from yourself. Let's take a last look at these last comments before we get off air today. John Gabriel says, them types of people live paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. And then CatCon says, people are married over 25 years and divorce, you never know. And honest to God, that is 100% true. Divorce is now up over 50%. I watched an episode of Parks and Recs today where two of the characters got married after dating for a month. And just the outside perspective on it was just like, well, they're young. They got a 50-50 chance at it. Who cares? Let them enjoy it. It might work, it might not. No one knows. It's all right if they make mistakes. They're young. And that's true. It's okay to make mistakes. It's not ever that we should be judged during our mistakes. I was talking with John specifically about this. We were talking about a Martin Luther King quote, and it went to the effect of, a man should not be judged during his moments of challenge and controversy, or a man should not be judged during his moments of comfort and calm, but rather during his moments of challenge and controversy. We can be looked at during our worst moments, and it's how you really present yourself during those times. And yeah. And as Mr. Rogers said, I love this quote so much. I'm going to butcher it, but he said, you should treat your friends and those around you at least as good as you treat yourself. It's important to remember that during the holidays, guys. Okay? This has been the Reseller Roundup for December 24th, 2019. We're coming into 2020. Man, it's been a good year. Thank you so much to everyone who has donated this year. We've had a lot of you. Tons and tons of you. All the patrons, all the super chats, all the private PayPal donations, all the brands that we've had the honor of being able to work with, even the ones that didn't work out. Thank you to all of you. Thank you again to all of our admins, Pam, Mindy, Brandy, Richard, those of you who help run our back-end operations, the Instagram, the secondary pages, the friends of the pages, those of you who message me twice a year just to ask me for help, those of you who recommend other people to come to me. Thank you to all of you for making the Reseller Roundup a thing. And I promise you, when we do this show again next year, it's going to be even better than this one. We're going to have more fun, more giveaways, and I'm going to do my absolute best not to be sick for that one. And yeah, And I know a lot of you had a bad 2020, okay? It's in the past. Or a bad 2019, it's in the past. Get ready for 2020. It's going to be a really, really good year for a lot of us. Let's band together. Let's make this happen. Thank you so much for watching again, guys. And I will see you. I'll see you next year. Have a great night. And remember, if you don't make that money, someone else will. Good night.